Well, fuck.
Woof woof. Hey guys, it's me, Marcus, aka the Mad Dog, and we are back with another live stream that probably won't get monetized because Adam just said fuck within the first half a second. But yeah.
My beer was about to overflow on me. Sorry.
It's an acceptable reason. I'll let you off. But yeah, thank you everybody for joining us and for our two guests down there. I've been trying to memorize this all week and I couldn't, but Vof Heshkila Det a Ja Marcus, aka the Mad Dog, Ushvi a Tilbaka, Med in Anan livestream. Did I get any of that right?
That's actually pretty good with the accent.
But the pronunciation was fucking awful. But
well,
yeah,
you got your point across.
Yeah, well, that's what I said. At first, I was just only going to do it in the Swedish, and then I was like, Marcus, you don't know what you're saying at all, so just do your normal one first so that people don't turn off because it sounds like they've tuned into the wrong channel. But yeah.
Next week, I want a limerick. Or next month, I want a limerick in Swedish from you.
I'll try my best. But yeah, so again, this is MDC for the 4th of the Mad Dog Chat. And of course, I am joined with my great friends once again. So to my left is my good friend, Mr. Comic Bound. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for joining us. That wasn't even words.
I'm tuning in. I'm joining you.
Yeah. If you're in the comments again, I'll pick you out again. But yeah, and then we've also got Mr. Danoh. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you. Second time around. Jesus Christ. But yeah.
I'm tuning in as well.
Well, it was your birthday this week, so happy birthday.
Thank you.
Hope you had a good one. And of course, we can't do an MDC without our boy Joakim from Joakim's Comic Center. Thank you for joining us. See, third time lucky.
He did it. He said my name correctly. Oh my God. Hi, everyone. Happy to be here.
So we've already got quite a few people in the comments. So this time I'm going to try my best to actually keep track of these. And also the boys are going to call me out if there's a good one that I miss. So it's not going to be that I ignore you for the entire chat like last time. But yeah, we've got Stephen the Shy Wolf. Thank you for tuning in. We've also got SEC. He put that early on, and I thought that it'd gone live without me even knowing. I was like, oh shit, it's already gone live. Damn. But yeah, we've also got Mr. Blue Sonic. Yeah, happy Friday to everybody. Let's get that Friday feeling going. The last Friday before the Snyder Cut. Big day, isn't it, for people who like Fridays in the Snyder Cut?
I like Fridays, so yeah.
The Snyder Cut, though.
We'll see.
I'm warming up to it, to be honest. I'm still a bit hesitant. I've seen one trailer, and I think I'm not going to see any more. I hear people are enjoying the shorter ones, the character-focused ones. I haven't seen one of them. So I'll just keep myself from spoiling too much of each character that's gonna be in there and the story of it, and then I'll try to see the film/series with an open mind.
Yeah, that's probably for the best as well. I can't blame you on that one. But we've also got Don McHugh, who I know is from the UK as well. He says he's going to miss some of this as it's tea time here, but it'll give me something to watch later. Well, whether you see the majority of it live or you see it in the catch-up, we hope you enjoy it. We've also got Aiden, who says, hey, everyone. And we've also got McPuffin Muffin, who's desperately trying to make me a manga guy. And so far, hasn't happened, but you keep trying, and I respect the grind. We've got Andrew, who says hi. And if the videos or anything, yeah, he said hi again. Like we've got like a running joke on the video. Like every time it just says hi and then hi again. So I put woof woof and then woof woof again, like immediately after. So I'm glad that we keep that alive in the live stream. But yeah, our boy SEC's here live as well. And we've got Omni Nation Comics, who is just such a cool guy. He just started his own channel. Got some mega hauls in as well. I don't know if any of you saw his recent Instagram post, but he had like 52 Omnibus in and Batman Eternal, which I know are two that are quite difficult to get. So he's just a really cool, down-to-earth guy. He loves the YouTube comic community as well. So I hope everybody checks him out. And also, links for all the channels here will be working in the description this time. I've already checked. So
I saw Omni Nation's first video on his channel opening up and everything, and I never did that, never presented myself in any way, and he did it excellently. Showed personality and everything in it.
Yeah, it seems like he's got a natural like knack in front of the camera, which, you know, for me personally, it took me ages to do. Like, I'm still not really that entirely comfortable in front of the camera. So hopefully he's going to do big things. It'd be cool if he ever wanted to join a future MDC, if he wants to have a little drink with the Whammy Boys. That's what I'm going to try and cause and see if that catches on.
Yeah. The Whammy Boys.
The Whammy Boys.
Yeah. That'll catch on, definitely.
We sound like a Wham fan group, don't we?
Are we not?
That's actually not too bad because they're good. So.
Yeah, I like that. We've also got Blue Sonic, and we've also got... I'm looking here. Deed says, hey, I heard Wolverine Omni Volume 1 will get a reprint late this year and early next year. Do you think it is true? I think it makes sense with Volume 2. I'm not sure where you guys weigh in on that. I feel like sometimes what sounds like common sense never actually happens with these companies. So it makes sense, but that doesn't mean it's going to happen. So that's my standpoint on it.
What Wolverine Omni are we talking about?
The one with the Frank Miller cover where he's like on the front.
But wasn't that the reprint already?
It wasn't a reprint, was it? It was like a restock, and they changed the spine on it, but it was still the same book, right? I think it was supposed to be. It was just a different printer that got it. Yeah. So I think it was still the same print run, technically. I think the ISBN matched and all that, I assume. As far as I know.
I heard as well, though, that apparently, I heard this in a comment on Facebook, so it's not confirmed from anyone, but Marvel might be trying to do smaller restocks of popular titles. Like, obviously, we've all seen the Uncanny X-Men just disappear in front of everybody's eyes. So that's something that I've heard is something that's going to happen. So who knows if it does? Hopefully it does. It makes sense. Steven says, love the Batman theme t-shirts. Yeah, wait. What? We're so close.
But
did you not get a message?
Okay. I have the poster.
Yeah, poster wins.
I have the tattoos, at least.
Yeah.
This year.
You went full. You went full on the Batman decoration, so you still win.
I'm still ahead.
Beating me at fashion is not winning that much of a competition, though. Brian says, hello, Marcus and the rest of the comics crew. Forbidden Planet seem to be up in their game. Has got my Dr. Aphra and New Warriors Omnibus early for once. Yeah, everybody seems to be getting their books early from Forbidden Planet. How are you two doing?
I just got my Aphra Omnibus today, actually. And by the way, he said comics crew. He means Whammy Boys.
Yeah, the Whammy Boys. The Wish.com version of the Omnibros.
Yeah, that's gonna stick.
Joakim gave me that name, so I have to give him credit for it.
I write everything Marcus says. No.
He's got copyright on everything.
Let's see. But what was I thinking about? Okay, so I'm actually getting books soon because so far the only book I've gotten this year is the new Teen Titans Omnibus Volume 5 that started off with the help me out, guys. You know which ones I'm talking about. The reprints of the ones that used to be
from the Marv Wolfman and George Perez era.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. Just because the later ones doesn't have their work necessarily in them.
Yeah.
I think George Perez is not the artist right now within the later volumes, but still sticking with the series for another 1 or 2 volumes, I think, for it to be completed. I don't really know how many volumes it takes, but I still like it. Those books are like my X-Men.
Yeah.
And I'm never going to read X-Men, so I'll stick with those. It's just too expensive and too many books if you're going to get into X-Men. But I'm also waiting for a slightly bigger haul from In Stock Trades now that has finally shipped after 1 month.
That's a deal.
Well, it takes about a month for them to pick all the books.
Yeah,
I've heard that lately.
But I understand it because of the situation. We have known this for over a year now, so you shouldn't be surprised when this actually occurs. And I'll have to wait for some books.
Yeah, there's worse problems in the world, isn't there, I guess, especially at the minute. Comic Bound said, Friday! And I love when he's in the comments as well. Like, you should have a conversation with yourself and just
That's my superpower. I can be in 2 places at once.
Oxmeat Pete says, hi, friends. Good picture of Jeff Goldblum there. Studio Fitness says, hey, Marcus, hello from Job Comics. Desperate to see the Snyder Cut. If only we would have known that it was put up as Tom and Jerry for some reason, then we would have had something to go off at the minute.
Damn lucky 10-year-olds.
Yeah, I know, right?
This is a weird episode of Tom and Jerry.
Best episode of Tom and Jerry ever.
It's funny because I know because we're still in the lockdown here in the UK, and basically, like, there's people like my boss at the minute who's having to still have his kids at home while he's working, because he's working from home. He can't keep an eye on them all the time, so he just puts them down in front of the TV and puts something on for them. So I can just imagine the amount of people who just stick their like 3-year-old in front of the TV, put Tom and Jerry on, and just left before it got to the Warner Brothers logo, and then yeah.
So the retention rate's awful on it. And it's like, why is nobody watching this 4-hour Court of Justice League? SEC said, I heard they've used CGI for Batman's stubble. I could do with doing that.
Better than erasing a mustache.
Yeah. Yeah, what would be... Because I remember when Justice League was having its issues, you know, the entire production pretty much. But when they were originally trying to get Henry Cavill back for reshoots, because he was doing Mission Impossible 6, I think it was, Warner Brothers went to Paramount and was like, look, we can do this for you. And they'd made footage of Superman, like with a CGI mustache on, to go, look, it's easier for us to CGI a mustache on than it is to take one off. And I just want to see that footage of, like, Man of Steel or Batman vs Superman with Henry Cavill with that thick mustache that's CGI. That's the cut I want. Give me that. Go full mustache this time.
Maybe even go the handlebar mustache.
Yeah, I've got the bullets for him. So,
I mean, I would totally buy
real footage with him with a mustache on, though, right? There must be like a whole film's worth of Henry Cavill in an actual mustache being Superman.
Yeah,
that and a beard, He has to have a beard.
Oh, okay, he had a beard as well. Okay,
yeah.
That's why his face looks so messed up.
It's like that film, The Room, with Tommy Wiseau, like how he filmed it with 2 cameras, like a HD camera and a 35mm. So there's an entire version of The Room that's either slightly to the left or slightly to the right. And I don't know why. I really want to watch that. Like, it'd be the same film, but just want to see it just for curiosity's sake. So
does that mean you could watch it in 3D?
Possibly.
Well, they should get on that. They should definitely get on that.
They missed out there. But we've also got Marvel Babs saying, hello, chaps. I always love his hat and his picture. I can't pull that kind of hat off. Which reminds me of Peaky Blinders as well. William Ramskill said, evening, everyone. Woof, woof.
Woof, woof.
We got one out of 3. I'm doing better. But yeah, we said, hey, lads, how's it going? I can't speak for everybody, but I've got a drink on the go, which I think is my 3rd already. And I'm doing pretty good. How about you guys? How is everybody today?
Cheers.
I'm on number 3. I nearly lost it at the beginning of the stream, as you just saw. It was, I don't know, I must have put it on the table to riff, but it tried to escape on me.
Yeah, you gave us the R rating straight away by saying the one fuck that we get allowed. The R rating now. But yeah, this one's for your birthday, Danoh.
Thank you.
Yeah,
happy birthday to me.
The other 3, though, they were just because I fancied a drink.
Yeah.
But yeah, Carlos says, hi guys, was literally just watching Joakim's updated collection tour from a couple months ago. Love the only buy what you love mentality. It is a great mentality to get into. I'll take my hat off for you. Hat off to you for it. Yeah, you also just put out a new video, which you still go check out after the stream, but you still check out.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to implement that mentality into pretty much every video now.
Yeah. So
it gets a bit preachy, but I still think it's for a good cause.
Yeah, and it makes sense, because what's a hobby if there's not that love, that passion, that enjoyment? So I think it's something that I should probably try and do a bit more of, because then that manga that definitely isn't mine up there would go.
But it sort of gets...
Sorry. Go.
Oh, okay, I was going to say it gets a bit defensive whenever you show a book. Okay, I like this book. You might not like this, but I like this book. So you maybe want to buy this book if you like books like I do. But maybe check a review first. Next book.
And then check other reviews in case that review hasn't been the review that you wanted to hear.
Exactly.
I was just going to say, so I try and kind of subscribe to that philosophy of just to buy the things if you really love them, but I'm more of, I'll buy the thing in case I love it, because I might love it, and I might not be able to get it again. So it's complete FOMO. I mean,
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you have a touch, or if you know something about it, at least you have a taste of something. I mean, so it's at least something of it there, you'll probably like it.
Yeah, I mean, I'd hope so.
Because I know both Comic Bound and Danoh recently put out hauls, and you can tell every book that you both buy, it's a book that you actually want. So even if it's not something that you can get round to immediately, it's not like you've just gone, I brought this because it existed. So I guess we've all got our own different levels to the buying what we love, but, you know, it's never like we buy anything that we know we might hate. There's always some kind of passion behind it. And I think, you know, it's about finding the right balance for you. And sometimes we can lose sight of the collection, can't we? And it's just, it's all of a sudden on my floor.
Yeah, well, to me, it's about buying the books that I find interesting and then keeping the books that I find great.
Yeah.
If you understand what I mean there, because not every book that I buy is automatically a great book. It's just I'm curious about it to see what it is, and then if I like it enough, it's gonna stay in my collection from now on. And I said that or something similar to it on the live stream with the comic board guys, Black Paul and JT. That these shelves behind me, those are the shelves that I'm gonna stick with from now on. And if I need space in here, I need to put other books out to kind of use the space that I have, and then make it even better as I go along.
It's a good philosophy to have. That's kind of like your pedestal then behind you, isn't it? Like these are the cream of the crop.
Because usually what people do when they run out of space is that they get even more space.
Yeah.
And
I
then
did
fill
that
up,
a few
or
times.
a storage unit or anything. So if you keep on doing that, you'll never stop.
Yeah.
Well, I'm fine with the space that I have. I did expand it a few times to reach this amount that I have here, and yeah, I'm happy with it so far. And maybe in the future I'll expand it, but so far I'm not looking to expand it. Well, the shelving units, that is.
We've also got Canadian Invincible Comics in the chat. Been a supporter from day one, so thank you for joining us for this one. We've also got our boy BJ Kicks saying, what's up, guys? Great videos. Everybody should check out his channel. Me and Adam were talking as well. Like, you're free to join us for a MDC whenever you want. Like, you seem like such a cool dude. Beautiful voice. You don't have the crap accent that I do. So anytime you want to join, just give me a heads up. And congratulations on the baby as well.
About BJ Kicks, he also has a great personality.
Yeah.
He also took up some stuff that isn't talked about as often in the community and everything. As Black History Month just ended and everything. That video I really liked.
Yeah, and the milestone stuff as well. Like, that's something that I'd like to learn more about. And his videos really made me want to learn more about it. So, yeah, that's why my comic spell's going to go up. So thanks, BJ. But yeah, great dude. And also, we've got Off My Shelves, who's another great channel. We've got some really great channels in the chat today. I know Adam was singing your praises because of the Ronin video that you did the other week. And I like
blew my mind. I mean, I bought, so anyone who's not seen my haul video yet, I tell the story there, but basically I bought Absolute Ronin, and the day it turned up in the mail, Off My Shelves had a video appear on my feed of an overview of Absolute Ronin, which is a book not a lot of people kind of talk about. So it just, the coincidence there, it did blow my mind a little bit. But it's a great book. I read it a long time ago now, so I'm really happy to get the Absolute and reread it. But if you want to know what it is or what it, yes, there you go.
It's the deluxe edition, but it's.
So I only had the trade paperback, so I mean, it's Frank Miller artwork, so you need it in something bigger than a trade paperback, really.
Well, this is him doing great artwork, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So anyone who wants a good overview of the book, please go check out Off My Shelves. He does great videos. Other overviews he's done are excellent as well. He's kind of been reviewing a lot of the books he's got in his collection, like the Essentials. So yeah, there's lots of good overviews on there.
BJ also told me to get my books off the floor. I'm in the process of hopefully selling this place and moving. So at the minute, everything's a bit of a mess. So at the minute, it's like, they can go there. And, you know, I haven't really got too much time to move the shelves about.
Question. Is this the first time you're going to move with those books?
I had about half the collection last time because I was saving that hard for me for this place. That since I moved in here, and, you know, we had last year where every book went out of print immediately. So I was like, there's no time to wait on anything. So, yeah, it's the first time that I'm moving with this many books, but last time I moved, I had about half of this, so I've had to move quite a significant amount in the past. So I've got some processes that should hopefully...
How many boxes do you think you're going to have to get for just the books?
Well, I'm a bit of a chancer. So, like, what I'm going to do is what I did before I moved in here and do it box by box and just have the same box but leave it at my mum and dad's and then go from my mum and dad's to there because obviously... with me having a flat, I don't know if I'm going to have to rent somewhere before I can buy my next place just so that I can sell this one a bit easier with the whole chains and stuff like that. If that's the case, I'd rather leave my books at my mum and dad's, get my green screen up and just pretend that I've got my collection behind me in my videos. And then when I've moved into my proper new house that's mine that I own, then bring all the comics rather than moving them into a house just to move them all to another house again, if that makes sense.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's going to be a pain, though, if any of you were offering to help me move.
Yeah.
I've got a lot of boxes if you want more than that one box, because I've been hoarding boxes in case I try and sell any of my massively growing to sell pile. So if you want some boxes.
Look at that pile. I might buy some off you.
Well,
I mean,
do you have a local comic shop nearby?
Pardon, sorry, mate?
Do you have a local comic shop nearby?
They're not open at the minute with the whole lockdown, but
yeah,
I can easily go when they do open back up.
Yeah, but you can ask them if they have any diamond boxes left over.
Yeah. They're heavy duty as well.
Yeah, so they are pretty good and sturdy to move around books.
That's a great shout, that one is. Oh, Zoom's in the chat. Woof, woof, Zoom. But he did say that he can't stay late because he's going to play Airsoft, but he'll definitely rewatch.
Nice.
Which one's Airsoft? Is that
the
guns?
Yes.
Yeah. We should get together and do that when you come over to the UK or we go over to there. Like, I also love air hockey.
Paintball.
I'm a crier, though, as we all know from last episode. I'm a crier. So we've also got Comics vs. the World saying he hopes we all have a good evening and he'll catch up on the replay. Well, we hope you enjoy it when you do get around to watching the replay. We've also got Boogie Des saying it's 2:30 in the morning in Singapore. Wow, we've got a watch from Singapore. That's crazy. Thank you for tuning in. We've also got Andrew saying bye and then bye again, tea time. Well, if you're having tacos, I hope you enjoy them. I'm a massive fan of my Mexican food. I'm trying my best to keep on top of the comments this time because you know how bad I was. Well, guys, call me out if there's a comment that you want me to highlight or anything like that. Just
BJ Kicksman. I mean, he plans to document his move on his channel. I'm planning on doing the same because the reason why I asked you how many boxes you would think you would need for your move is because the big mission when I moved here to this town 2 years ago now almost was. First promise was I'll never move that many books ever again. 900 books plus.
Jesus Christ.
And I recently counted my books now. And now I'm at 470 something.
That's quite a decrease, though. Like, good on you.
Yeah. And it's not just the books and the weight, the physical weight that I'll have to carry. It's all the time that I get back now also.
Yeah.
For not wasting on all those books that I wouldn't even have liked.
Yeah, like, if it's not even worth moving them across in the first place, I get what you're saying there. Just going to turn my heating off because it's boiling now. But yeah, we said happy birthday, Danoh.
Thank you.
We also have Joe in the
Appreciate
chat.
it.
Exactly. Congrats on hitting 2K.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
congrats.
Thanks for supporting me. That's the main thing. Like, if people weren't supporting, it wouldn't have happened anyway. So it's more our celebration than it is mine. So I just hope
You
that
started out in March, right?
May last year.
In May.
3rd of May.
Okay.
Yeah. I just hope my videos don't turn to shit. Like, I'm really worried that one day I'm just gonna, like, I think that at best one of my videos is a 6 out of 10, and I just really hope it doesn't sink lower than that. Like, I'm genuinely a bit scared of losing momentum and stuff like that. Like, it terrifies me a bit, but the fact that there's support there makes it a bit easier. It's just, I was worried, like that Jupiter's Legacy video yesterday. I'm like, what if nobody's read this yet because the Netflix show isn't big? And then YouTube just goes, oh, well, nobody watched that video, so fuck this guy's channel, and that's it for me. But sometimes you have to take calculated risk. You have to try and push the boat out every now and then. And you have to try and leech views off a new Netflix show, which is what I'm probably going to be best at.
See, you shouldn't be worried because you've got suckers like me who literally read the book so I could watch your video so I could watch the whole thing without the spoilers getting in the way. So
such a good book, though, isn't it?
It's pretty good. Like, I really enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I would. That's for sure. And I love Frank Quietly. He should do more stuff. But I know he takes a long time to work. But what he puts out is great. So.
But I was thinking, the month that you have had now, isn't this the month that you put out most videos ever?
You okay, Danoh?
What happened?
I don't know. Did we freeze or something?
I think he or the cat might have chewed off the Wi-Fi cable.
What?
You never know what cats do.
No worries.
You sure it's a cat? Is it a gremlin? Have you got gremlins?
Well, you could probably equate that cat to a gremlin. Don't feed it water.
Can't you hear me or something? What?
No, we can't hear you.
Oh.
I can hear you, mate.
We hear you now. I think you dropped your Wi-Fi.
Oh, maybe, possibly. Can you hear me?
You're back now, though.
Yeah.
You're back
okay,
now.
good.
What were you saying anyway, mate?
I had a Zoom meeting today in class and everything, and they also said that my sound went out.
Yeah.
Hey, Google, shut up. Sorry for everyone that has that. Hey, Google.
Skynet's taken over.
Yeah.
I knew it'd happen whilst we were on camera.
This is where we're losing it all.
Half an hour in.
Yeah. We had a good run.
But yeah.
Let's see, what was I talking about? I was talking about your channel, right?
That's my favorite topic as well.
Yeah. But I mean, wasn't this the month that you put out most videos? Because since last chat we had, you had like 1,500, I think. And I think it really shows now with 500 plus subscribers within 1 month.
It made like featuring on Mr. Romel's stream really helped the channel as well. I'm not going to. Anybody who helped me, I'm always going to be like, yes, like you guys helped me. Like you've always helped the channel. Like, so everybody who helps me, I'm dead grateful for it. And I know obviously going on Mr. Romel's stream did really, really help the channel. And I had an Invincible video have a little bit of a boost. So I don't know if that did anything, but like, yeah, it's been a particularly great week. And like, I keep messaging Mr. Omar every day and just being like, Thank you so much for all the help. Like, which I've done this today, and like, I'm just so grateful for everybody who helps the channel and everybody who supports the channel. Like, I said to Adam earlier on in the day, I was like, I'm just a dude who started this channel because my friend had died and I was in lockdown and I didn't want to have to think about it. So I just wanted to make videos that I enjoyed and took my mind off things. I didn't expect to make genuine friends or anything like that. I just wanted something to take my mind off. So I'm grateful for everything, and I'm grateful that you guys all joined me for this stream as well. So everything's a blessing, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'll assume everything's a blessing, at least.
Yeah.
I'll drink to that.
You guys are all there like, why did we sign up to this again? Like, all he does is get drunk and tells us he loves us and then cries a bit. Just going to catch up on a few comments here. Where am I looking?
Yeah, I think we're...
Rob Smith says, what's up, Mad Dog? Yeah, I believe BJ Cakes is based in the US. Here's a good question for us all. JC said, really loving the show, really enjoying the show as always. Do you guys have a top 3 comic runs you'd love to see in an omnibus/absolute format? From any company, I'm assuming as well.
I've got 2 definite top runners for omnibus treatment, which I think I mentioned on the last stream. Even one would be the stuff post all the JMS Spider-Man, so like the Brand New Day, Big Time, Dan Slott era Superior Spider-Man, all the way to the end of his run, and then the Jason Aaron Thor run. They've always been my top 2, and I think we'll get Thor soon, just because they did the War of Kings or whatever it's called.
And the
War of
movie.
the Realms. Yeah, but that I reckon they're saving a lot of it for when there's movie hype.
Yeah, with Jane Foster becoming Thor as well.
Yeah.
What else would you put in omnibus?
Yeah, exactly. So those are my 2 omnibuses, but I feel like the absolute one's a better question because it's more about what do you want to see in big, massive pages. So
yeah,
that's
and
a tough
since
one.
Planetary, anything can kind of go. Like before, I thought the absolute was like 12 issues max. Like that's when you're pushing it. Whereas now it's like, okay, apparently up to 30 issues is okay. So the doors open a little bit wider.
Yeah. No, that's a tougher one. I don't have an absolute wish list, but I should think of it. That'd make a good video.
I think I did a video, but I can't remember what I put as number 1.
Yeah.
So.
No.
What about you guys?
Yeah, I think I have 3, but let's see here. I never actually think about this because I'll just be disappointed that I'll never get it, so I never dare think the thought. But probably the latest books by Jeff Johns and Tom King in absolute form. So I would like to have 3 Jokers and Doomsday Clock in absolute format just because of the collaborating artists.
Oh yeah, Gary Frank.
Doomsday Clock would be a good one. Yeah.
And Jason Fabok. And I would also like to have Mr. Miracle in absolute format.
That's a good show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd upgrade again for that. I had the standard size hardcover, then I got the deluxe. I'd totally upgrade to an absolute. Love that book. Incredible.
If you got
I
one,
probably would like to see Mr. Miracle, that Tom King and Mitch Gerard's maxi series as an absolute in the future, because that's a nice looking artwork with very one and done storyline. So you get one absolute out of it, and that's fine by me. And I'd say maybe certain arcs. I haven't put much thought into it, actually. It's just I'm happy to see what absolutes get the absolute treatment, but I would like them to continue the Batman New 52 run with 0 year, to be honest.
Yeah.
I would love to see that in absolute format as well. How about you then, Marcus?
The one that I can think of most, I can't remember what I put number one in my video for absolutes, but the one that comes to mind, I'd really like the first part of Greg Rucka's Batwoman, where it was J.H. Williams III. Like, I haven't read that since it originally came out, but I just remember being so blown away by it. So I know the omnibus is apparently coming, but it's been cancelled about 5 times. So if I could just get that first part with those massive splash pages,
those spreads are pretty awesome. And his artwork is stunning for that series.
It's still in the Penguin House catalog, so here's hoping.
Yeah, fingers crossed. That's a day one, that is. And of course, Matt Fraction's Iron Man. Like, that's my Iron Man. Like, the fact that doesn't exist in Omnibus baffles me, because it came out as part of the run. That, like, when a movie comes out, they normally do a new series so that people can just jump on. Matt Fraction's Iron Man was that series. Like, so it's funny because they've pretty much made Tony Stark Robert Downey Jr. now. And that was when they really started to bridge that gap. So you got your classic sort of 80s demon in the bottle type sensibility to Tony Stark, but they were trying to include some of the mannerisms of Robert Downey Jr. So, and it's just a great run that they just don't seem to care about. So that's my number one. It's a good question, though.
Yeah.
Just having a look through some comments now. So I'll tell you what I watched after we had our last talk. I was just reading that comment. I wasn't building suspense. I watched Spider-Man 1 again after we talked about it. It just took me back to being like 8 years old all over again. It was so good. Like, I'm so glad we spoke about it, because I was like, I need to see if that's hold up now, and it still does.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it in a long, long time, actually.
Yeah.
I'll be up for rewatching that.
So good.
I would love to see Northlanders by, what's his name?
Brian Wood.
Yeah, Brian Wood.
Yeah.
As an omnibus. That would have been a great one big omnibus, like the ones they do with the 100 bullets and stuff like that.
Yeah.
We're probably going to make it. We're probably going to see
I'm not sure.
Sorry, Joakim, I didn't hear what you
They're
said.
probably going to make a compendium of it. Just take 2 of the paperbacks and make it to 1, and then publish that in 5 volumes instead of 10, or what it now is.
Yeah, they seem to be making a lot of compendiums these days. I'm not a massive fan of them. I know you just got the Spawn one, Marcus.
Yeah.
Saw that on your Instagram. I mean, how's the build of that one? Like, are you worried about the spine on it, or does it seem all right? Like, my Invincible ones, brand new when I got the second one, I worried about it straight away without even having read it once. So, yeah, they're a bit hit and miss, I think. But
it feels kind of the same. Like, it doesn't feel as bad as the Fables one. To me, the Fables one, whilst I was holding it, I was like, this feels like it's going to fall apart. So it feels a bit better built than that. But for me, with Invincible, go with the Ultimate Collections. Like, go all out. They're so worth it. But
I mean, I'm so tempted to upgrade them all, but the problem is I've had that first compendium for like 10 years nearly now. So it's like I just had to carry on with those.
Yeah. And it is convenient, so I'll give you that.
Yeah.
We've got Phil's Nerdiverse in the chat. He says, "Hey folks, I made it, better late than never. I'm just glad that you're here." We were talking about your podcast as well earlier, Comic Airwaves. We're all a big fan over here, so
yeah, massive fan. Love what you guys are doing. Oh, there's the gremlin.
We got the cat. My girlfriend's happy now.
Yeah.
If only she were real.
Yeah, it's a shame what you're saying about the Fables compendium, though, because I was actually kind of thinking about getting that. I really would love to read Fables one day. It seems like a great, convenient way to get a lot of the content in one hit, but in one hit, and you know what that sounds like.
Like it's going to be 4 and then you're done.
Yeah, but it's if the binding on it, or if you're worried about the stability of the book, then I'm not sure I'll do that. I mean, I can only hope they've sold well enough that maybe they'll actually, because weren't they solicited as absolutes that got cancelled
originally? Which I found weird. How many absolutes would you need for Fables?
Quite a few. I'd
5. If you went 5, let's see here. Originally, they were going to make 30 issues per absolute. That would make it 5.
Bigger than Planetary.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can't do that. So I completely understand why they went the compendium route.
Yeah.
I mean, you'd think they'd just reprint some of the hardcovers, wouldn't you? Like the,
definitely.
It just seems like the easiest route. But
yeah, but just like Marvel, I mean, they don't reprint most of the deluxe size editions unless it's a one-off, like the Tom King, Mr. Miracle, I think, because I think that has, and Marvel and DC does it so differently. I mean, with Marvel actually announces when a reprint actually comes out, and DC does these. What do you call them? What does Omar call them?
Ghost reprints.
The stealth reprints kind of thing.
Stealth. Yeah.
So suddenly one day they're there again.
Yeah.
Well, they try to keep their books in stock, so they reprint them without announcing it, so that people still think that they are readily available, and no one panics, I guess.
Except for Gotham Central, apparently.
Yeah, they don't care about that.
Yeah, like one of the best series they've ever made. Like, I've got the 4 hardcovers, and at the point where I was like, you know what, though, I do want it in oversized. I looked and it's like out of print. And I was like, every time. Because it's like Batman by Scott Snyder. I've been like, I'm not buying it until they say Volume 2. I'm not buying it till they say Volume 2. Then I've heard Scott Snyder say, oh, yeah, it's in the works. I was like, great, I'll buy Volume 1. Can't find it anywhere, so I'm just going to wait on it. Like you said, they want it to appear that they're more in print than they are, so I'm just going to wait.
I guess Thomas Shevlin. I did look into that a while ago before Brexit all happened, and then I was looking into prices and stuff, and I found a bookbinder. I think that did the comics as well, in hardback leather-bound books or faux leather. I can't remember the name of the bookbinder. In London, I think it was. So I can try to look it up and see if I find it again and let everyone know.
Yeah, I don't know any, so that'd be more help than me trying to give any suggestions.
Yeah, I did look into it a little while ago as well, and I think annoyingly at the time, the place I did have my eye on got bought by another bindery or something, and then they changed their whole kind of like setup. So I'm not sure if they do comic binding anymore, but something I've been meaning to kind of re-look into, because I want to get rid of a lot of my single issues at some point soon. So I'm thinking of any of the runs that I've got that I want to keep, I might get bound. Just as a way to kind of, have it as an easily readable, like, because I'm never going to go digging through my comic boxes for something to read. For a start, I'd have to, kind of take all of the other crap off those boxes to go digging through them. So, I want something I can just pull off my shelf. I'm too used to that now. So, but I might actually look into that if I do find any kind of, if I get anywhere with it, I might do a video on it or something. But it's probably not going to happen anytime soon, knowing me.
I was looking into it because of I was trying to get rid of certain books, but I enjoy the story. I just didn't want it to take space in my short boxes. So I thought about binding them together to make a slim hardcover or whatever it is. But never got around to it other than looking into certain vendors.
Yeah. We've got Don tuning in from Belgium. He said woof woof and hello to everybody. Thank you for the support that you've shown the channel as well. I do really appreciate it. We've also got SEC saying it sounds like a party at Joakim's. That was when you Googled. That was when Google was trying to steal the limelight there.
Try not to say that word because I think she can hear you.
Okay. Now it's the only word I want to say. Why have you even said that to me? I've got the mentality of a 13-year-old, but
Yeah.
BK Kick said, "You're Starman Woof Woof. So glad you started this channel. I'm glad that I started it as well. Like I said, I feel like I've made some friends in this rather than us all just happening to have channels. Like we've just been talking ever since the last stream. I know obviously I'm the shittiest replier on the planet, so I'll just be open and honest about that. I am the worst person to try and get a reply out of sometimes, because sometimes with how busy I am, like trying to just get stuff done, I don't even have time to reply to my mom. And like, I love my mom. She's great. Like, talks a bit, but she's great. Now you know where I get it from. Yeah, so we've just had such a great time. And it was immediately after we ended the last live stream, we were like, yo, should we just do this again? Because it was really fun. So I'm glad that we all are here now. And I don't know, we haven't got a date for it just yet, but we also will be tuning in another time together over at Joakim's channel for a talk about the Snyder Cut. We're not sure when we're going to do it. I was thinking about this. I didn't know whether it was better to do it quite soon after the films come out, but then people might not have had the spare 4 hours to watch it, or do we wait a week or two and give people the time to have watched it? And
I'm watching it as soon as I can, so I don't care.
I think 1 or 2 weeks at least, but if you wait a little bit longer, I think maybe the fire has gone away. Or
yeah. We want Snyder Cut 2 then. That's all the time going to be then.
But I could actually go on and talk a little before talk about Snyder Cut, but we can wait till the last hour when most people has gone away or something, because the Snyder Cut isn't the most popular tenant out there. Oops, there goes Daniel.
Danoh will be back in a minute.
Okay. But I think we'll save that. We'll save that.
Yeah, for sure.
Because when I start,
to talk about,
we'll have to wait in for Daniel. I think he wants to give a thing or two about that also.
We'll just catch up on a few comments in the meantime. Oxmeat Pete said, I came from Omar's friends. Loved when you joined him and followed you here to your channel. I hope you join him again soon as well. I hope so too. And I keep saying to him, he's welcome to join us for an MDC if he wants to get drunk. But obviously, there's a bit more of a time difference between here and America than there is for, Sweden and the UK. So he'd have to get drunk at like 11 in the morning on like a Friday.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm up for just carrying this on till 4 in the morning and waiting for him. That's fine.
Would you be up for that? Would you stay awake so that we could get drunk with Mr. Omar?
I think it's just right after 1 p.m. where he's at when we start this stream. So, I mean, it's at least the afternoon. Or very early afternoon.
But still, that'd be cool. Like I said to him in when I joined him, I was like, I had an idea for a video that Danoh's back. I'll just add him in. Like I had an idea for a video. Do any of you guys watch Mr. Sunday Movies?
No.
It just does like the maddest ideas. Like he's Australian as well, so everything he says is fucking hilarious. And he does something where he's like, guess the superhero movie from the 1-star review. And I was going to do the same, but with like some of our favorite books. And like, because half of them, like I found some, and obviously he really likes X-Men, God Loves Man Kills. And I found one review that was like, this fell out of the packaging, awful. And on it got 1 star. And I was like, could you imagine trying to guess which book we're talking about based on that?
Any book on Amazon that could. They all have that.
That's the challenge.
We should do that sometimes, but with movies on this, I think.
Yeah, that'd be a good idea, because obviously you get more reviews for a movie. It was just I didn't want to completely steal his idea about them.
But we can do that. We can do comic book movies. I mean, superhero movies.
Yeah, that's what he does.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, so it's only superhero. Oh, okay.
Sorry. Well, he occasionally throws in like High School Musical 2 just to throw people off the scent. Which I'll tell you what we should do. Do you know how in my first ever stream I said that as a joke I'd like to do an OnlyFans where I review porn parodies of superhero properties? we should try and guess which porn parody is based on the positive review.
Oh, that would be awesome.
You both love that. Could you imagine that if we got a bit drunk as well?
How is this not demonetized if you mention porn?
I I don't care if it gets
porn
money
isn't
as long as I'm having fun.
offensive.
I think you can
okay.
mention it. Let's just not start any right now.
Damn
I think that's where the line is. I don't know.
Legit, 3 people stopped watching like in the last minute.
Yeah,
So,
we've just tanked the viewers. Where'd they go?
the real OGs are tuning in still.
Oh, the hopeful people, the optimists.
What is the view count right now? I don't think I can see that actually.
About 30 now. We're doing pretty decent, but as long as everybody's having a good time, doesn't matter if there's 1 person in or 100. Like, I just hope everybody has a good time.
Of course it does. Numbers is everything. Numbers is the universe, Marcus.
John Smith tuning in. Thank you for tuning in, mate.
Oh, there's that elf.
Yeah, that elf meme's really taking off, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not. It's only gonna get worse, probably.
Oh, that's a good question from Crazy Jane. It was announced that in the UK, it's going to be on Sky Movies and apparently Now TV. I don't know if you have to buy it on top of having a Now TV subscription, because I know, like with a lot of fights, like when Mr. Anthony Joshua fights, sometimes you can just buy that fight rather than having to subscribe. So I'm hoping it's something similar to that. But I remember when Wonder Woman 84 came out over here, it was like 15 quid to rent it, and I was like, that feels steep for a rental in my own home. That's the cost of the Blu-ray. Just release the Blu-ray. Like, if nobody can get out, release the Blu-ray. You'll get more people buying it, because if it's online, a lot of people are more tempted to torrent it anyway. So just release the fucking Blu-ray early. What are you waiting for?
I think their logic was that we can't charge them for each person that goes to see it in the movies. So they charged I don't know what a ticket goes for in England, but maybe they kind of combined 2 or 3 tickets because they figured people would pool or sit together and watch it at someone else's place. And then they wanted to recoup some of the money, I guess.
But more people probably just torrented it. Like, I get the theory
if it's
behind.
too expensive,
Yeah, like, I still haven't watched Wonder Woman 84 because I don't want to spend 15 quid for a rental. Because for me, I just equate 15 quid to the cost of a Blu-ray. Whereas the cinema, it's more about the experience. It's about, shouting at someone who's talking throughout the film. It's all about that.
I could understand if they released it only on their streaming service and added, if you want to see this new movie that came out in the theaters right now, at the same time as they do in the theaters, if we charge you like $5 or something like that, 5 quid, for you to access it, they have already taken your money for the subscription service.
Yeah.
For HBO or whatever it is. Now they want another monthly subscription fee for just the one movie. On top of that, that's greedy in my opinion.
Did you have to pay extra for Wonder Woman 84 on HBO? Because
No.
I heard it was included. Because that's kind of what rubbed me up the wrong way. That I'm like, I've only got subscription services, and you could have just made a deal with Netflix or Amazon Prime, and just included it within that. So that was kind of my, because HBO, it was practically free in America. Or you're getting HBO Max next week, aren't you?
Yes.
Yeah, congratulations, you beat us. So can you just like Skype me whilst you're watching it?
No. Sorry, you said HBO Max. Sorry,
it's in May.
Yeah, it's in May, but we still get the Justice League movie on HBO Nordic, as it's called now, for all the Scandinavian countries. And Wonder Woman 84 will be released a week after that. And I guess that still makes sense chronologically, since the Justice League movie would have been released 4 years ago anyways, before Wonder Woman 84.
Yeah.
Here's a good question. I feel like this has become the pre-Snyder Cut chat.
It's sort of it.
Yeah, I remember when you messaged and you're like, not going to lie, I'm more looking forward to our stream about Snyder Cut. And I was like, yay! It's going to be hyped. But yeah, do you think we will get a sequel to the Snyder Cut? It's my most anticipated film of the year. Hopefully there will be a Blu-ray as well. I feel
it's
like
rumored. Sorry.
no, go for it. I talk too much.
Well, it's rumored to have this big cliffhanger at the end, so I think Zack Snyder might be toying with the idea if he succeed in making this a popular cut, and people want to see what comes after it, he has left the door open for him to return to Warner Brothers and do Justice League 2. But I would think that they do the Flashpoint movie and replace some of the actors for each role, so that they have this clean slate in the Justice League 2, in a way.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Me and Daniel discussed this, I think, privately on a chat.
Yeah.
And yes, as he said, we're going to leave it open because I think he tweeted it himself that they're going to leave it on a cliffhanger with the part 2. If they would ever make a part 2, he said that it would mostly take place in the Nightmare realm or world.
Oh yeah.
Which is the
cool bit.
The cool bit, yeah. With the vision you see in the Batman v Superman movie with Bruce Wayne and everything in the cave, and then suddenly Flash appears out of somewhere and warns them about this prophecy and how he was right about something, and Lois is the key and all that. And yeah, you have to remember another thing. I mean, Zack Snyder didn't take any payment to do this when he got back to the project of Justice League. To get total free creative
freedom.
Yeah. That's
good on him.
Very good on him. I mean, what a trade-off. To finally get the Hollywood suits out of a production so they don't stick their hands in and just mess things up just because they wanted to appeal to a wider audience. But now it can finally appeal to a comic book audience. A certain comic book audience, of course, because I can pretty much see everything, I think, and see something good in it. But I'm very positive to the Snyder Cut.
But when talking about a sequel, the thing that troubles me is that we are the minority when it comes to movie watching, aren't we? We like comic book films are mostly watched by people who don't read comics. There's not going to be millions of comic book readers that are going to buy HBO Max due to this. So realistically, what would it have to do to give Warner Brothers faith that, right, okay, this effect, I know it's technically not this, but let's look at what it probably looked like to the public, but a director's cut of a movie that panned, what's it that, you know, people have to watch through a subscription service that not a lot of people have access to now. What's it going to take for them to go, right, okay, we've got to establish that that's now canon, even though the majority of people have probably watched the original Justice League than this new cut. That's facts to me. Like, you're not going to get kids that went to see Justice League probably watching HBO. There's probably going to be some because there's a good couple of years after, but you get what I'm saying? Like the families who went to see Justice League, you know, sort of the uninformed, for lack of a better word, they aren't going to go, yeah, let's just give this a chance. They're going to go, I saw that film 4 years ago and I hated it. That's what a lot of people are going to think, unfortunately. Yeah. I know that not a lot of people are going to like them saying this. I want it to do good, and I want it to be a good film that, you know, makes a ton of films, it makes a ton of sequels, and, you know, brings us a great DCU. I don't want any superhero property to be bad, but if I'm being realistic with myself, the majority of people aren't going to watch the Snyder Cut. It's like you said, Joakim, it's for a small subsect of people, and then a smaller subsect of those people. And then it's got to give this company a chance that the sequel could, it needs to get $1 billion because they were disappointed that Batman vs Superman didn't. Yeah. I don't think they'll have that faith. I'd like it if it happened, but I don't think it will.
Well, you don't get that payoff like you do in the theater. The streaming services, they get the payoff by getting people to stay subscribed to their services. That's the goal for a streaming service. So that you have to have content that attract people to subscribe to your service. So I don't think that they view this cut as a it has to make money. It just has to not make people unsubscribe to their service.
That's a low bar to set into.
Well, to be honest, that's the bar every streaming service have when they add content to their service. They don't want people to unsubscribe to their service, so that's the low bar that they aim for. Or they want people to get back to their service or subscribe to the service because of a certain content.
Yeah.
And I think that's why Netflix is thinking about changing their plan on how they release stuff, since certain series are probably going to be released episode week by week now instead of the big binge dump that they have done in the past.
Yeah.
Now that they have more competition out there.
I mean, that works really well on Disney Plus. I feel like, The Mandalorian and WandaVision getting that weekly. I think they've probably seen stuff like that do well and realize you don't need to just dump a whole season on there at once.
No,
for it to do well.
Because then
anymore.
people do the hit and runs, basically.
Yeah. I mean, I would if it was sign up to somewhere. You've got like a month, and then you can cancel it. I'd sign up for a month. That's what I plan to do with Disney Plus. I left The Mandalorian season 2 just long enough that if I needed to, I could subscribe for a month and cancel and watch the whole thing. And I ended up getting caught up in the WandaVision hype, so I kept my subscription. So Disney won in the end, but it was my plan to just do a month and get out. And they don't want people doing that. And
no.
It's
so that's why they are trickling down their content now with Winter Soldier picking up next week as well.
And there's always going to be something now. I think for the rest of the year, I think there's some kind of weekly. So Disney, they've got me. Damn you.
Did you guys see the documentary that got released today about behind the scenes of WandaVision?
Yeah.
About what? Sorry.
There's a documentary now today in the middle between the two shows. After WandaVision, now we get a behind the scenes. It was 1 hour, and you pretty much got to see some behind the scenes of each and every episode and everything, and interviews with the actor, just as any documentary is about a TV show. But it was really good, and damn it, I got teary-eyed at the end of a fucking documentary. Oops. Too.
And crying has started already.
Yeah, but it was a Paul Bettany line from the end or in the middle of episode 8 when he's in the Avengers bunker with Wanda. It was that line that got me again. But yeah, it was just a solid documentary. I mean, it's fun that they actually had people there for the actual sitcoms episodes.
Yeah. That's cool.
What did you guys think of that series then?
Oh, it was great.
Yeah?
Yeah. I like it through and through. I need to rewatch it, of course, like everything else. And right now, I mean, are we going to spoil things 1 week after?
I feel like most people only give 2 days.
Most people. Okay, so 1 week is plenty.
If you subscribe to any comic book website, something is being spoiled for you, like a minute after the show aired. So,
yeah, I was thinking I should ask.
We'll give a spoiler alert. Like there is going to be spoilers for WandaVision.
Someone write spoilers in the comments, and then we'll highlight it.
Yeah, and then I'll do it myself actually. And then once that's gone,
it's safe to listen again.
Yeah, can you imagine Adam comes in and he hasn't watched it now, and he's oh shit. But yeah,
write spoilers for WandaVision, so if they don't care, they can still join us and listen.
Hey, I've had a few drinks. Like typing's not my strong suit. Bound commented spoilers, which is weird.
Yeah, so
okay, we're safe.
Listen. But I mean, there's so much. What are we going to talk about first? There's so much. I mean, okay.
We spent so long writing spoilers, we forgot the spoilers.
Okay, so who was Mephisto? No one was Mephisto.
Yeah.
I mean, but it was still such a good finale. It didn't need that big villain in the end. It showed that clearly. I mean, if anything, the villain here is depression.
Yeah, in a way.
Yeah, and I mean, of course, the last episode was all that. That's the money episode. You could clearly see that with all the CGI and the battles and everything. And it was a good show. The Vision versus White Vision was an interesting intellectual battle that I think we don't get enough of.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody help me. I mean, there's so much.
Well, there are aspects of the show that I enjoyed. I enjoyed the mystery aspect of it in the beginning. You didn't really know what was going on. I found that quite intriguing. I wasn't that big of a fan of it splitting in half, basically, and becoming something else in the middle, becoming this launch pad for other characters, for other projects in the future. But I understand why they did it. They wanted to introduce certain characters for future movies and future TV shows, so that you know where they come from and what they are, or what they could be. But I didn't like the idea of stepping away from the mystery aspect of the show too early. I wanted it to be more of a mystery, as it was in the beginning, throughout the show, keep you guessing, and more in that line. But overall, I enjoyed the show because it came back to where it left off in the beginning, towards the end.
Yeah,
I agree. I'm one of them. I'm always credit where credit's due. So I can't say I'm ever going to watch this show again if it's not for video or something like that. Because for me, I felt like it was a show that punished people who thought more about it. Like, if you had a theory, fuck you. Like, no theory was right, apparently. Oh, do you think the X-Men's coming into this? Fuck you. It's a guy called Ralph fucking Boner. And I'm supposed to pretend that this...
That was
I'm supposed
funny.
to pretend this fucking... So, right, okay. So why do that at all? Why fuck with us like that and then still expect me to give your show respect and go, yeah, great show. You did the one thing everyone wanted and then punished us for...
Back.
Yeah, punished us. Like, do you want the X-Men in the MCU? Here it is. Not like dickheads.
I mean,
Scarlet Vision's costume, Scarlet Witch's costume, fucking dope.
Yeah,
got that
the
dead
thing
on.
that kind of brings it back together, in my opinion. The costume that she wore with the tiara and everything, that was awesome. And
I like...
Yeah.
Two details about that costume.
Hearing it.
Three, if I'm going to count the sleeveless part. I mean, that was a nice touch just overall. But let's see here. There was the crown that she wears and her sort of necklace part. One of the parts there had several shots of it that it was clearly in the same shape as the Mind Stone from Vision. That was a good touch. But I also looked at the kind of tiara part of it. And it's sort of in an M shape. And it also looks like Magneto's helmet from the X-Men animated series, I thought.
And the colour looked a lot like the Michael Fassbender costume, like that.
Yeah.
It's almost as if they went in Photoshop and just got the exact same colour. It was dead on, because I love that costume, but I feel like they did that to kind of distract people from the fact that it didn't pay off on a lot of what everybody was expecting. Like, none of your theories happened, and realistically, it was a mystery without an answer. Like, From the beginning, we were like, oh, this is going to be something about her dealing with visions, with the grief of losing vision. And besides the whole Agatha stuff, that's all it was. So what was the mystery? Where was the mystery? She was dealing with a grief, and then by the end, she was dealing with a grief. There was no mystery. And for me, I think the problem with it is, sorry, it's just this is the main, when I was thinking about it and I was trying to be like, why do some people love this and why do some people hate it? I think I solved it. It depends on if you buy into Scarlet Witch and Vision within the MCU, because when you think about it, how long have we seen them together to go, this is a couple I'm really behind? When have they ever been a couple?
Never. Basically, just in the beginning of the opening sequences in Avengers Endgame, or was it Infinity War?
Infinity War.
Yeah, Infinity War.
So
that's the only... Yeah.
Sorry, mate.
No, that's the only spot, really, where you see them acting like a couple, but you never get invested in their relationship as a viewer.
I got a bit invested just from watching the show, though. I had no prior investment, but I think that was why the beginning episodes worked so well, is because it was all about seeing them kind of in a kind of ridiculous kind of TV, old school TV lens.
Yeah.
But you see them as a couple, and you see them it escalates very quickly into them having all the family stuff and all that.
Yeah.
I thought that was quite well done, personally.
Well, I looked at this show going into it as this, what if they had the opportunity to do this in real life? And since we didn't get to know them as a couple and in their relationship throughout the movies, this was an opportunity to see what it would be in this show. That was what I went into it with, my preconceptions. But yeah, I kind of enjoyed aspects of the show. I hoped that they would play it as a mystery, but they went, as I saw in the comment down there, they went the MCU formula at the end. Or towards the end, or towards the middle of it. Yeah.
I liked something he said as well, though. I'll just highlight this. It was 9 hours of her becoming Scarlet Witch.
Yeah.
It's like Smallville all over again.
9 seasons of it.
Yeah, just to see a man that we know can be Superman become Superman.
Yeah.
Okay, but what did you think about the after credit scenes then?
Of the finale?
Finale.
They were cool, but again, I think it's... I get what a lot of people are saying, and in no way do I think WandaVision was bad or failed. It just wasn't something for me in the end. But when I saw that they were in all those hills and stuff like that, I was like, this is it. Wolverine's coming. He's just going to be slicing down a tree. And it was like, oh, she's learning her powers. Great. I didn't care too much about the Skrull stuff because, just do something with the Skrulls already. I feel like they're just constantly going, remember these guys? Rather than going, no, Luke, remember these guys, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, that's a setup for Secret Invasion, really, isn't it? Because that's the next kind of, well, not the next TV show, but it's one of the next TV shows.
Oh, yeah. So, and Doctor Strange 2, obviously.
Yeah. I was talking...
well, the guy that she is talking about, I guess, is isn't that Nick Fury up at Sword Space Station?
Yeah, exactly. At the end of the Far Away or Far From Home movie. So you can basically see those panning out at the exact same time as they take place, both directly
roughly
after.
At the same time. Yeah.
And
what did you think about them?
Yeah, I'm excited for it. I mean, of course, we already established when we get the shot of wherever she is in isolation and everything with the mountains. First, I was thinking that she was back in Sokovia, in hiding and everything, but I don't really know if they had those kind of mountains, or maybe she's closer to where Doctor Strange, wherever he traveled to find, whatever. The sorcerers and everything. Not that he really knew what he was searching for, but she knows about the sorcerers and everything, but I don't know if she's closer to that source or if she's kept in self-isolation somewhere in Sokovia because it's her home. She's safe there, or maybe.
Yeah.
And she's clearly... Oh, Daniel.
No, what I was thinking about when looking at that scene, that after credit scene with her in the cabin, I was thinking, okay, when is Doctor Strange stepping in here?
Yeah, where's this cameo?
Basically telling her, okay, we need to go do this or that or whatever it is in Doctor Strange movie 2.
It should probably start with, hi, I was in another dimension, therefore I never sensed your immense magic before now.
Yeah,
they need an explanation, don't they?
Yeah.
And something like that I would actually buy that, but it's an easy buyout for them.
Well, it's gonna be about a dimension hopping or something like that. So maybe he's already hopping around and then going back to get Scarlet Witch to help out. You never know.
I reckon he was just knackered. Like he just needed a sleep.
Yeah. But now I really wonder on how they actually are gonna start off this multiverse of madness, because if the capacitor of it isn't Wanda because of the WandaVision show, which I clearly thought it was going to be after episode 5 with the recast Pietro and everything, that's when you thought, okay, now the dimensions are open.
Yeah.
But clearly they're not. So the capacitor of it is going to be shown in Spider-Man 3.
Is there anyone in the chat that want to share their opinion on that series as well? Feel free to add that.
We also had the Nerdhead Comic Book Club saying, hey, hope everyone is good, so I thought I'd give them a quick shout out. And speaking of Doctor Strange, this is a good question. With Wanda being so powerful now, does it kind of downgrade Doctor Strange?
No.
Definitely. We're in total opposite opinions there.
What?
Why not?
I don't feel less of myself just because someone other is better than me. So no.
Well, I think if I understand his question correctly, it's that how would you rate those two characters with their powers?
Okay.
So is Scarlet Witch the more powerful magician or magic user in the MCU right now, or is Doctor Strange the most powerful one?
That could be part of the plot, though. Like maybe Wanda's still learning, but she hasn't reached the full potential. But she's the only one who's got the power to stop whatever the threat's going to be. But Doctor Strange has the knowledge to get her there. That could be a thing, because I think originally with WandaVision, we genuinely believed that Wanda was going to end up becoming the villain of the MCU. And that was going to be the thing. So it didn't matter if she was more powerful, because she was going to be effectively the thing that he needed to stop. So it could kind of go down like the buddy cop route, where she's the newbie, but she's got all the potential, and he's like the old wizard god kind of thing. And
so we're doing Lethal Weapon in the MCU.
Yeah. You knew it's going to happen eventually.
Yeah. I was waiting for it to happen.
Loki's going to be like the Men in Black of MCU. So.
Something I saw made me laugh, though, that it was like literally every comic book outlet. And do you know that bit where it was like a dead obscure line, but where the Falcon goes, I might know a thing or two. And he was just like that caption. And then it was like every comic book website, the thing confirmed in the MCU, because that's kind of how it was. Like the thing with WandaVision is I'm kind of in two minds, because I feel like I said, I feel like I got penalized for caring more and thinking more about it. But then there does come into the question, did we all hype it up too much? Like,
probably.
People who were disappointed, like we thought Mephisto is going to be in it, the X-Men's going to be in it, the Fantastic Four is going to be in it, Superman's going to be in it, James Blunt's going to be in it.
I still think Mephisto was in it. I mean, they didn't disprove that he wasn't Senor Scratchy all along, and I can see them. That'll be the big reveal for the next show, guaranteed.
Let's see it. The rabbit, Scratchy.
Yeah.
Actually, they confirmed that only that there were scenes taken out of the last episode because they steered away from it. Actually, that Bunny was about to be a demon.
Oh, see, there you go. That's just evidence, right?
WandaVision Snyder Cut confirmed.
Yeah.
That's what we
Sound
need.
right.
But what was that? I was going to say something about the old
I'd love to see a Raimi cut of it instead.
Yeah, that'd be cool because he's doing Doctor Strange 2, isn't he?
Yeah,
I mean,
I think so. Yeah.
And Danny Elfman's back up. Can't he just take all of those resources? Then I'm making Spider-Man 4 now. Sorry.
Can I be Spider-Man for once? Can you imagine? I'm a diva on set though, so it might not be a great idea.
All right.
But yeah, with WandaVision, I don't know. It's just like the whole Luke Skywalker level cameo. Everybody latched onto that, but they didn't dispel those rumors until after the show came out and went, "Oh yeah, we were just joking." Like, if you knew you really fucked up with a line like that, you should have said it immediately. You should have come out and just been like, "No, it's been blown out of proportion. We're all just having a little joke." Like, they led everybody to believe that. So I'm kind of in two minds. It's like, did we put too much into it so that we were always going to be disappointed? But did they add fuel to that fire that we then had to pee on? Like, do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Absolutely. I think, I mean, when did that interview get out in the world? Was that before the Pietro cliffhanger?
It was just as that episode came out, because I remember somebody saying they've confirmed that Quicksilver isn't the Luke Skywalker level cameo. So we were like, holy shit, it's Magneto. Like, our last stream, do you remember? We were like, who should it be? And that was everyone's discussion topic every time the thing came out, wasn't it? And they could have done something to at least dispel those. So I don't know. I kind of blame the studio more than I do the fans who were excited for something that didn't happen.
Well, see, I wasn't following any of that. So was it that they were saying there was a cameo, but Quicksilver wasn't it?
Yeah.
Or was it them just saying he's not the Luke Skywalker because they were kind of hinting at the fact that he's just Ralph Boner or whatever?
It turned out to be White Vision, played by Paul Bettany himself.
So that always... Okay.
He said that he was an actor that he always wanted to work with, and he was talking about himself.
Here's my theory, though. What if Mephisto is the two kids because of how fucking awful of actors they were? They were appalling. Like, oh my God, that Malcolm in the Middle episode, I was like really hyped for because I like Malcolm in the Middle and it's on E4 every day. Those kids were fucking atrocious. And I know kids can't act to the same level, but you could see the script here by the camera. Like them going...
Yeah, I'm really forgiving about child actors that way, I think. I mean, a lot of people... Yeah, but I was thinking about if we're pretty much going to bring up the kids anyways, if they were, in the comics, they were shards of Mephisto at some point.
Yeah, so it ties into it all then.
Yeah, but I was thinking about the final scene when they actually put the boys to bed. And when they put the boys to bed.
Oh, in the last episode.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm with you now.
Yeah, and I mean, it's a touching scene and everything. I mean, they don't want to startle the children saying that this is actually goodbye, it's good night and everything. And then I remembered that, is it Billy that can read minds?
Mm-hmm.
So he knows what's going to happen. If he can read his mother's mind, I mean, that just makes that scene so much darker.
Yeah.
And I think it's pretty ballsy of Disney to kill two 10-year-olds just like that. Off screen.
It was off camera, though.
Yeah, I mean, but still, we know. But then we get that cliffhanger and everything. So yeah, we had that.
Well, every parent out there can say that. No, they just went to sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is pretty dark when you think about it.
Yeah.
I think it easily could have been about 3 episodes shorter and been much more coherent. Yeah. Still done the whole sitcom thing. I thought at one point it would have been cool as well, because I know a lot of people didn't like the very early episodes because it was like, this one's just the 1950s, this one's just the 1960s. What if they would have done it so that it changed throughout the episode so that even more like she's fully doing this. I thought that would have been cool, and they could have used the effects a bit more. That was something that, like, they did it at the end of episode 2 because it transitioned into colour. So they could have condensed episode 1 and episode 2 into the same episode and really...
Yeah, they basically did, because they released them on the same day and everything. They were like episode 1. In my opinion, they were combined episode 1 because they were 20 minutes each, which is about the same kind of runtime as like a normal TV episode of anything else. So
but the first
I kind of took them as one.
The first 2 episodes were really like a test for the audience, I think, and they were split into 20 minutes each because of the very certain time and era that those episodes took place in, because they're not for everyone.
Yeah.
And
it's risky. I'm glad that they went for it. Like, hats off to them for just going for it.
It's still a very, very unique show. There's nothing like it.
That's why I like it so much, I think, is that I'd never seen anyone do anything like what they tried to do. So how successful they were is debatable, but I quite liked what they did until the kind of later episodes. But yeah, for the most part, I was kind of really looking forward to it each week. So, I mean, that says something. So what we got out of the show is a teaser for Monica Rambeau in Captain Marvel 2, and something with Secret Wars, and a boner joke.
Still gets a laugh though.
Yeah,
I thought that they would try to lean in more into Doctor Strange, that part of the universe.
Yeah,
that was what I was figuring going into it, but they didn't do anything about it or anything with that.
Yeah.
So they confirmed that there are witches in the MCU.
Yeah,
at least.
just not sorcerers.
Yeah.
Like, I think my opinion on it will change as I see how it does play into the wider MCU, because I know obviously a lot of people have been saying, oh, stop wanting it to connect to this and connect to that, and I get it, but it's naturally part of that. That's a really weird thing to say. Like, that's like saying, oh, don't watch season 4 of a show and pretend it's part of the other show. Like, it is. That's what it is. Set it in a different universe if that's the case, which we thought it might be at first. You can't connect it to the thing it is and then be annoyed that people want it to be connected to that thing.
Maybe that's why I didn't mind what they did so much then, because until WandaVision, I'd kind of checked out of all the MCU stuff. I thought after Endgame, that was quite a natural, nice conclusion to just the whole of what came before it. So I wasn't very excited for anything they'd announced. Like, I wasn't even excited for WandaVision. And I thought it was just anything after that. I'll check it out, but I was not kind of looking forward to it in any kind of way because I'd already closed that chapter. So for me, I wasn't really caring whether or not it did link to anything. I just wanted to watch a cool show. And I think it ticked some of those boxes for me just because I didn't care if it connected to anything else. I wasn't there theorizing. Like, when Quicksilver turned up, I thought that was cool. But yeah, I kind of don't mind that it didn't turn into what everyone thought it would as much as most people seem to. So I don't know if that's part of it, is that I kind of already kind of checked out and closed that chapter.
Well, what I will say for it as well, like, to give it respect, because I didn't hate it. I know obviously I get a bit irate at anything, but the fact that this is the first MCU show that they've done on Disney Plus, so it's our first sort of test of like the level of production quality, and are the actors going to try as hard as they do in the movies? Like, there was all these unanswered questions about it, and I think they passed a lot of those tests. So it makes me excited for the other shows, like Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I'm expecting just an action movie in 9 episodes now, like that level of quality. Pardon, sorry?
6 episodes.
Oh, I didn't know that. Thank you, mate. But yeah, I'm expecting that level of quality to carry over. So I think it's done good at making me excited for the rest, even if this wasn't something for me. And like I said last episode, not everything's for everybody. This might just be something that's not on my street. I'm glad you guys enjoyed what you enjoyed about it, and that's kind of where I sit with it.
Yeah.
So, what are your expectations for the Winter Soldier and the Falcon show then?
I'm looking forward to that one. That and the Moon Knight show are probably my most exciting, like MCU TV shows that I can think of off the top of my head.
Yeah,
I'm wanting like similar to Winter Soldier, the movie, just great spy, great espionage kind of work. I love Falcon. I think he's so underrated in the MC universe that I'm glad Anthony Mackie's finally getting his chance to shine. Even though his parents apparently still have a really good marriage, if anybody gets that reference. No? Okay. Oh. He plays the bad guy in 8 Mile, and that's like one of the disses at him. So
Clarence. Oh my god! I
saw that movie.
Such a good fit. That still holds up today.
Well, I guess the Falcon is going to play the drone going up above, and then the Winter Soldier being the foot soldier, right?
I don't know. I haven't seen anything but the original trailer. I don't know if anything more's been released.
I haven't seen anything either since whenever the first trailer went.
My hopes are high for that show, at least. My hopes are even higher for the Moon Knight show later on, just because of the level of quality in how they produced WandaVision. So that's the reason, and that they dared to do what they did in WandaVision kind of keeps my hopes up for a true and correct or good interpretation of the character of Moon Knight, at least.
Yeah. Is that Sorry, go for it.
But the Moon Knight show is way, way in the future, right?
Yeah.
Oh.
I think it's next year.
Oscar Isaac's been confirmed as well, Auntie.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Yeah, like the showrunner leaked it on an Instagram or something like that. It's like you had one job to not tell everyone. But yeah, that should be really good. And I'm hoping, I've heard rumors that they've got the rights for Punisher back and Jessica Jones and maybe a few of the others. I don't know if they've got Daredevil just yet, but I'm like, I've also heard that they might bring John Bernthal back as Punisher. I'm like, do it. Just have him go up against like Tom Holland's Spider-Man, because a lot of people forget that the Punisher's a Spider-Man villain at first. Like, could you imagine that? Who would you root for?
But I mean, if they, I don't know, but I mean, if they still take him into the continuity or a soft continuity of what we had with their origins in the Netflix shows, I don't think he would go after Spider-Man, really. Oh, yeah. But I mean, Charlie Cox hasn't he been at the set of Spider-Man 3?
I've heard rumors.
Yeah. I mean, everything I want out of that movie now, and I don't even... Actually, I didn't think I would ever say this, but I don't care about Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield. All I want is... I commented this on Super Squad D's channel, something about... All I want from the Spider-Man 3 movie is for Charlie Cox to look into the camera with his dead blind eyes and just say, "Season 4 of Daredevil coming soon." Then hit to the next scene.
That's a good question that we just got from Joe over there. Will we ever get an adaptation of the Eminem Punisher team up? Now's the time. Do it now.
Maybe Eminem will do a cameo in Winter Soldier.
He's the Luke Skywalker level cameo of that show. Yeah. The thing with Spider-Man 3, though, since WandaVision, because obviously WandaVision was like, oh, the Fantastic Four are going to be introduced, the X-Men are going to be introduced. I've now taken a backseat with Spider-Man, and I'm like, I'm not even sure Tom Holland's going to be in it with the way the news was announced. Can you imagine if he's not even in it?
I mean, I wouldn't mind, because I don't really like him.
How do you not?
I mean, I kind of do. I don't really like... There's some things about those films I don't like. I think he's maybe one of them. I'm not really sure, because I'm just a bit mixed about the Spider-Man MCU films as a whole. But yeah, I don't know. I actually prefer Andrew Garfield as a Spider-Man.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I'm still Tobey Maguire. He's my boy. I like the other two though.
Yeah.
But who've we heard that there's going to be? So there's apparently Electro was the first that was rumored, Jamie Foxx.
Yes.
And we've heard that it was going to be Doc Ock.
Yep.
Then that was when we heard that it was Andrew Garfield. Then Tobey Maguire was in rumors. Then Charlie Cox. Then apparently William Dafoe's being approached to do Green Goblin.
Yep.
And I'm like, are any of these going to come true now? Or any of them?
I mean, if they all show up, it'll just be for like 2 or 3 minutes possibly, because I think we'll only see them in flashes of different dimensions.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
They're probably not going to have a major role.
Yeah, and I think we're gonna have this little cameo of Emma Stone as Spider-Gwen.
She'll just take off the mask and then look into another universe.
Yeah, basically so. I think so.
I mean, it could be a scene with Wanda and Doctor Strange in one room, and it'll be this dome-like kind of, maybe with hexagons. Who knows? Because hexagons builds up the universe, as we can see in the Guardians of the Galaxy when they jump in warp speed or what it is. And I mean, maybe they can use that as screens, and in each screen we'll see a different scenario. We'll see Tobey Maguire with the Green Goblin, with Willem Dafoe. Maybe Tobey Maguire dies in that version, and then another version, Doc Ock maybe kills him and everything. And Andrew Garfield maybe dies also in another. I know everybody dies, but that's just so that they'll stand the point that Tom Holland is the Spider-Man now. So maybe we won't even have the team up. Hopefully, Spider-Verse is my Bible, so hopefully we can get that, but I should probably expect something less.
Yeah, it's probably best to adjust our expectations, because I think that's probably the one takeaway majorly from WandaVision, that, sometimes we can be our own worst enemy in liking and not liking a show. But I was thinking when you were saying that, like, it might only be in flashes. Do you remember in the original Adam West Batman show how there was that crossover with the Green Hornet when they were climbing up a building and the Green Hornet just pops his head out and then just pops his head back in, and that was the crossover? Can you imagine if it's just that, like somebody like Tobey Maguire swings in, it's like, nope, and just swings out, and that's it.
I mean,
wrong place.
Yeah, that's not my goblin. Bye.
It's more likelier that that'll actually happen.
Yeah, I know, that's the worst bit.
I mean, part of me wonders how much they can go the whole Spider-Man multiverse route when they've planned a load of Into the Spider-Verse sequels, apparently, as well. I mean, we're at least getting one, right? So they're not going to want to tread on the toes of it too badly. So, I mean, I guess
that did well.
It did do well, to be fair.
It would be really nice if we could get a Miles Morales show up in one dimension, because we haven't got any casting actor to play that role, and that would be a nice surprise if we got a glimpse of a Miles Morales.
If you see SEC's comment there. I want them to. I really like Japanese Spider-Man, because if it wasn't for Japanese Spider-Man, then Power Rangers wouldn't exist. So I hope Japanese Spider-Man comes in, like the one who's got his own, basically a Megazord. Like, that'd be so cool.
I am the emissary of hell.
What were some of the other things? And he just full on kills people and just doesn't pay any attention to it. Give me a Japanese Spider-Man film. That's what I want.
I think they actually have one.
Oh, I mean like an MCU one.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, like I'm still excited for it. But I think WandaVision has made me rethink my approach to a lot of stuff. Because I remember when Spider-Man 3, the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man 3 was coming out. Do you remember that bit where he's fighting Goblin and he throws the 3 like things? In the trailer, it looked like 3 claws went in front of him, and I remember being on the IMD fan boards when I was like 12 or something, and it was like, Wolverine's going to be in Spider-Man 3, because none of us knew about like the production companies or anything like that. And I think ever since then, I should have started adjusting my expectations with hype. Like, none of this shit ever happens for me.
Well, Wolverine would be a nice cameo, though.
I think Hugh Jackman for me, in the same way that J. Jonah Jameson has to be. I forgot his name.
Oh.
What's J. Jonah Jameson's real name? Like, I could see his face clear as day because he was Commissioner Gordon as well. Someone's going to tell me in the comments.
Oh my God. I love that guy. I know his name. I think I've had too many beers.
J.K. Simmons.
J.K. Simmons.
J.K. Simmons.
It's because they both had J, so I was like, no, it mustn't be that because watches for looking that up. But in the same way that he seems to be the only person who can play J. Jonah Jameson, I think I'd need Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. Like, everybody's been like, oh, Zac Efron should be Wolverine now because he's young enough to get the years in. And I'm like, yeah, he's a good-looking dude. Like, if he ever messaged me on Instagram, I'm replying. Like, but Wolverine, who knows? I just don't see. Well, but then again, nobody saw it with Hugh Jackman, so what the fuck do I know?
I'd like a really short, stubby Wolverine for a change, though, because
who was the original? I mean, inspiration for Wolverine. It was a short actor, wasn't? I want to say Danny DeVito, but I don't think it was him.
No, that's the best. Give us that.
But are you on about the one that they cast before Hugh Jackman, the actor that they cast? That was what's his name? I can't remember his name. But it was Doug Ray Scott. Is that his name?
I'm not too sure.
You'll know him if you see him. But he was cast before Hugh Jackman in the first X-Men film, and he got replaced last minute, I think. But I don't think he'd make a very good Wolverine now, probably.
Actually, that's a very good point that we just got. Marvel Babs should play Wolverine.
Yes.
I think that'd be fucking great casting. Do it for the UK as well. The first UK playing a Canadian Wolverine. You can do the Marvel approach to accents as well, where you have to have the accent in the first film and then just give up. Like, I like how WandaVision was like, yeah, your accent's fucked. Like, they actually leaned into the fact that she completely lost it. But yeah, like, I don't know. I'm saying like Zac Efron, I can't see him as Wolverine. But again, 10 years ago, if you would have told me Robert Pattinson's being Batman, never would have seen it. So, let alone be excited for it, which I still am. I'm so hyped. I can't tell you.
Yeah, that Batman movie is gonna be awesome to see when it comes out, and I hope that they try to bring that Batman into if they decide to try the continuing or connected universe again.
So after
I kind of hope DC. I just want DC to give up on trying to do a connected universe because they're not very good at it. I don't know. They don't plan it well enough. Like Marvel planned theirs quite thoroughly, where DC just kind of hoped it would work for them. So I'd rather they're really good at doing standalone like animated films and stuff. Like they should just stick to what they're good at. I don't know.
And some of the best.
Yeah,
sorry, mate.
No, I agree with you, Adam. I've been criticizing the Warner Brothers for not doing the connected universe well. Just hoping that they do it well one time at least.
This time next week, your opinion could change.
You never know. My opinion of Zack Snyder could change as well. You never know.
What's everybody's sort of, because this is probably the last time that we're going to talk face to face before the film, and I know obviously we touched on it a little bit last week, but obviously when a big fight's coming up, everybody does their final verdict before the fight happens. And I'd kind of like the same for like stuff before it happens. So obviously we touched on Falcon and the Winter Soldier, but in sort of one statement, what do you hope for from the Snyder Cut, and what do you think we will get? So whoever wants to take the floor first.
Okay.
These are hard questions.
I hope we get the goddamn Batman. Let's get the goddamn Batman, and then I know we're gonna probably get the goddamn Batman. That's my theory.
Concise, I like it.
Mhm.
I want it to end with half of the Justice League killed.
Which
Because-
half?
I don't know. They can surprise me on that point. I think I would leave Bruce alive, actually. And probably Barry, so he actually has to go back in time to do Flashpoint.
Yeah. That's
But
good stuff.
I would want Darkseid is to be the last phrase, or all hail Darkseid to be the last sentence in that movie.
That'd be cool.
So
That'd chills.
So we can get an Infinity War, but with DC. That's what we're going to call it if they end it that way. That's what I want. I want a huge cliffhanger. I want destruction.
Okay.
All hail Darkseid.
Honestly, I don't have any expectations or hopes for this movie. I'm just going into it. Okay, I have hopes for it. I hope it won't suck. I hope it will. I hope it will be at least a good movie in some sort of a manner. But I don't have high hopes, to be honest.
I hope we get what people think exists. And I remember saying that early on because I remember at first when it was announced, I'll be 100% crystal clear honest. I remember thinking to myself, even though I respect the reasons why he had to leave and it was out of his control, I remember thinking to myself, it's all well and good seeing the version that no one likes, being able to then add stuff and refilm stuff after the fact and release it and say that that was your original vision, so that if everybody says it's great, people will think that you were shortchanged, whereas realistically, I don't think that the Snyder Cut that we were going to get next week, just solely for the fact that it's 4 hours long, it was never going to be 4 hours when it released in cinema.
No.
So, but now, with the benefit of hindsight, I hope that, like I said, we get the film everybody thinks exists, whether that be a train wreck or something better than Avengers Infinity War and Endgame put together. Because I kind of don't like what it's done for the majority of the community. Like, nobody can talk about it. Like, this is the most peaceful conversation I've ever seen about the Snyder Cut. It is, and that's why I like talking with you guys, because even though we've got somebody who, clearly isn't a fan of it and somebody who clearly wants to be, and then two people who are kind of on the fence and a bit skeptical but hopeful, I think it's caused too many arguments. And, people are already saying it's the greatest film of all time. People are already saying it's a bag of shit, that nothing's changed. I'm saying it's a film that hasn't come out. And that's a fact. Yeah, well, it did actually. It's not a fact, actually. I'm bullshitting. I'd say it came out on Tom and Jerry, but other than that, I just hope. I don't want any of these films to be bad, and I'd love nothing more if even you, Danoh, comes back and it's like, you know what, that was great. Let's get more Justice League films, because the 8-year-old me would have loved nothing more than a good trilogy of Justice League films, even if it sounds like they're touching on a little bit to the same plots of what we saw in Infinity War and Endgame, like, the villain wins and then there's a sequel where they have to go back in time. That I don't even care if they touch on each other, because comics have been doing that for ages. I just want an enjoyable time. I don't want any of this Superman is Jesus and Batman's Medusa bullshit that sometimes it touches on. But I just give me a good film, and then let Zack Snyder have his moment that after everything he's been through, even though I don't respect him as a director for a lot of his past films, I respect him as a human being. Let him get his closure from this, whether that means that it's something that builds into something else or something that he can put to rest. But let's just hope that this gives everybody what they want. Thank you. God bless.
That did feel like a bit of a mic drop moment. I don't know.
I am not dropping this. I still owe money on it. But yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I just hope the people who really want it to be the best film ever walk away happy. And Yeah, like we all would love a good Justice League film at the end of
Yeah.
the day. That's all. Like, yeah. Who
Well,
wouldn't want that?
Yeah,
And
the only
I do
reason
have to
why
say-
yeah, sorry.
No, it's just a little tidbit. I do have to say that regardless of what the Justice League brings for me, I'm not sure if me and Comic Bound would talk as much as we do if it wasn't for it, because I made a video on it, and you were the only nice comment that I got on it, and then that's how we really started talking. So even before it's come out, something great's come from the Snyder Cut. So thank you for that.
Thank you, Zack Snyder.
Yeah. What were you going to say, Danoh? Can you imagine if it's like, it's bullshit now, and it's just moment to moment.
Well, the only reason I honestly have for disbelieving or not being hopeful, to be honest, about the Snyder Cut is the history of his DC films.
Yeah.
And well, he has done 2 pretty good films. That's 300 and what is it?
Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah, Dawn of
That's
the Dead.
That's a good one.
That's a really good remake, to be honest. Those 2 movies I enjoy, and I will enjoy every time I see them. But everything since hasn't been up to par. It's just been basically him trying to show off what he can do in style with stylized footage. And not paying too much attention to how it is coherent enough to actually tell a story. That's my opinion, and I stand by it. I respect everyone else that has another opinion. It's just my opinion.
Like, I don't really know too many people that watch a Zack Snyder film and go, that needed to be longer. Like, I feel like regardless of what we get, because obviously I wrote a book, and I know that sometimes you can fall in love with your own product. I think 4 hours is excessive, and I don't think that it's going to be every minute within that needed to be in it. That's my only concern, that I'm like,
yeah,
what film do you think you're bringing to me that I need to dedicate 4 hours of my life? But at the same time, if this might be his last chance at it,
at least
sorry, mate.
At least we're cutting it with like title cards. I believe we'll separate it by title cards every 40 minutes, because there are 6 titles that has been released for the Snyder Cut.
Do you know what they are? I haven't heard about this.
Yeah. I'll search them up real quick.
I like how you're becoming like the information man. Like, it's so useful. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I'm just here going, who's J. Jonah Jameson? Was he Brad Pitt? Just
okay, so the part 1. So I probably think that there's gonna be title cards, and I mean, of course, he understands it's a 4-hour movie, and you wouldn't watch it without a single bathroom break. I think that's unhealthy. But part 1 is called "Don't Count on It, Batman," which is just talking about it from the start. I think that's Arthur Curry's line back to him as Batman tries to recruit the Justice League.
All that reminds me of, though, do you remember in Toy Story where Woody shakes a lucky 8-ball? And he's like, come on, don't count on it! Ah! That's all it reminds me of. That's all I could hear when you said that phrase, unfortunately. So hopefully the other 5 are top tier that don't remind me of Toy Story.
Yeah, but first one, pretty straightforward. I mean, we're going to see probably similar scenes to what we got in the Whedon cut, with the funeral and everything, and Bruce talking to Diana and trying to get a team together.
Yeah.
And
is anyone going to try and watch the Whedon cut before they see the Snyder cut, by the way?
I'll probably never watch that shit ever again if this turns out to be better.
I don't know why we call it a Whedon cut.
Yeah,
it wasn't his film either. That was like a Frankenstein film. Like, just Whedon, we're now learning about how much of an arsehole he is, and I'm not trying to reclaim his name for that, but that was not his film either. I don't know why people are acting like Zack Snyder had the perfect film. Whedon came in and just went, fuck this. Like, there was studio interference. he got given a lot of footage and then just had to tack a load of stuff onto it. So just call it the shit show cut. That's what I call it.
I think he didn't get credit for directing, just publishing something. I don't, but
yeah, like principal photography or something like that.
Yeah,
something
exactly. But okay, part 2 is here. Was that everything I got? Or do I need to turn the page? Oh, here we have it. Part 2, the Age of Heroes. So that, do you have any thoughts on it, or am I just going to speak my mind?
You're really invested in this film, and I like hearing you talk about it because it makes me more hyped for it. So
okay, just basing on the script and everything that we got in the first cut of the movie, with sentences and script and all. I mean, the first thing I think about is the backflash we get to when Atlantis was above Earth and Themyscira was still a part of the world and not hiding, and all of men also collaborated together with Amazons and Atlanteans. So that
how
was the
does
truth.
that even fit into a Justice League movie?
It's 4 hours long.
Oh yeah, but yeah, that's why I'm skeptical.
Didn't you?
If you film a movie that you edit down to 4 hours, and if you thought about releasing it in the theaters for about a 2.5 hour movie, why did you write a movie that's 5 hours, cut it down to 4 hours, and then have to cut it down to 2.5 hours? What type of movie do you get? You get the Joss Whedon movie, basically.
Okay.
Sorry.
I'm gonna continue now.
Yeah.
So I think it's the Age of Heroes. So we have Amazons and Atlanteans collaborating together, because this is the Age of Heroes, because this is the first invasion on Earth from Apocalypse. And whether it's Steppenwolf or Darkseid or whatever Darkseid was called before he actually became Darkseid, because we have seen
the Uaxis or Uaxas.
Before he gets the armor and the Omega beams, before he gets the hold of the whole anti-life equation, because that is probably what he wants, and my guess is that it's in Earth or something. But that's the collaboration of all of Earth's people together, and that's where the Age of Heroes starts. So in the first cut of the movie, it was also something about the mother boxes. So yeah, and then each and every tribe, man took one mother box, and Atlanteans took one, and Amazons another. So those will later on be what is it called again? A
sub-story.
Yeah, the thing that their story revolves around. I mean,
the MacGuffin.
The MacGuffin, exactly. And yeah, I just see Daniel's face. I hope now he's gone. It was too much for him. Too much.
He only got to part 2.
Yeah. All that hope just got lost. Part 3. Beloved mother, beloved son. So probably in this part we'll get Superman back. Possibly.
I want more with him.
One more time.
I was saying I hope so, because I want more with him. I don't want him to be a last 10 minutes kind of thing. And obviously we've seen the black costume, and it does seem like there's going to be more of him. But that was the thing that disappointed me the most, I think, about Justice League, that you bring the Justice League together, but Superman's only there for the last 5 minutes. Okay. All right.
I just hope he has a beard, actually, because, beard, hair, dead cells still grows whenever you're, for a time. So it would
Not
make
sure
sense.
we're Kryptonians, though.
Yeah, I know, but it would still look good, and even if he shaves it before the final battle or anything, I would still like to see that.
I want that scene. That needs to be in a 4-hour cut of him just going, guys, wait, we can't fight him just yet. I need a shave.
He holds up a mirror and uses his laser vision, you know.
Oh, like in Lois and Clark, and he's just there looking at it, like in the middle of it, like a conference or whatever it was. That show was. I remember watching that as a kid, and then nobody remembers it existed.
The one with Dean Cain.
I actually,
Yeah,
I enjoyed that show. I have all the 4 seasons on DVD, and actually, I got to meet. Oh my God, I forgot his name. The actor that actually plays Superman in it.
Yeah, Dean Cain.
Dean Cain. Yeah, I actually met him at a sci-fi con here in Sweden and got the first season autographed by him.
Oh, that's cool. Is it worth going back to? Does it hold up today?
I mean, it's a much lighter tone, of course, but I still like it.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's a nostalgia for me because that's the first Superman that I was exposed to growing up in the 90s.
Yeah.
But let's get back to this.
I'm just
Daniel,
Before we get back to that, I really want to see the film one day with Dean Cain that has him. It's called Airplane versus Volcano or something. It's about him in an airplane versus a volcano. It just sounds like the worst / best film.
I was going to say that sounds like Sharknado level to me. But I'm just going to run a sec. I'll just be back in a moment.
So where are we? Part three.
Part 3. Yeah, the beloved mother, beloved son. So, I mean, it's pretty straightforward. We're going to see some scenes with Lois and everything. And Clark's mother. And I've heard rumors about those scenes because I don't know if you've heard anything, Adam, or maybe you haven't. I mean, you haven't really looked for anything.
I try not to because I want to go in with a clean slate. I've heard bits, but
yeah, then I shouldn't say anything. What I think actually,
it's like I try not to hunt things down though. So
yeah, we've learned our lesson now with WandaVision.
Well, that's what makes me laugh. Is like everyone feels so burned about the theorizing, and then I've just sat here watching you guys theorize about WandaVision for like another half an hour after that point, and it's like, man, no one learns their lesson. Like, we can't help it.
But I mean, I can't remember the last time I actually talked about a show week after week.
Yeah.
It's nice to have that type of conversation back because I don't think I had that type of conversation since high school or middle grade, if you're in America. And I think it was still when Lost was on television.
Oh man, Lost. I wish I had people to talk to about Lost. None of my friends watched it. It's like my favorite TV show. And yeah, it's one of those ones where after you watch an episode, you need to talk to someone about it. But
Exactly.
What show is this, sorry?
What's that?
What show is this, sorry?
Oh, Lost. You leave the stream for 2 seconds, I start talking about Lost.
Yeah.
That's what
it was either that or Samurai Jack, I know.
Yeah.
I was going to take a 50-50.
Right, I'll take over now, everyone.
This is the Lost show. I remember that was one of the first things we really connected on, that there was a channel called Shawnee B Retrospectives, and like when Lost was coming out, he did a retrospective after each episode, and then he was like, yeah, I'm going to do one for the last episode. Disappeared for 10 years, which is the most Lost thing that anybody can do, is disappear before the ending. And like, I was just like, yeah, he must have just got bored with it or something. Then about last year, he came back and it weirdly still appeared on my homepage, even though I wasn't subscribed to him anymore and stuff like that. And that was one of the first channels you and I talked about, wasn't it, Adam?
Yeah. Like, I couldn't believe anyone else watched it, and I think neither could you. It was like, wow.
Well, it's like going back in time. I was like, he was one of the first channels I subscribed to on YouTube, and I just had such a good vibe about him. He was always in a good mood, whereas I'm always angry, like, all the time. But yeah, that's my highlight of Lost.
Yeah. So we only started talking Lost because we were stalling for you guys, and we're at part
I got
4
lost
now.
a bit for a while, Sorry
Yeah, we
about
wondered
that.
what happened, and then I just went, if Danoh's not here,
just
I'm
had
out.
to fight off a gremlin chewing on the Wi-Fi.
If you got your cat, do you want to show
I
him
don't
who
have a
off?
cat, but I have a gremlin apparently.
I thought before when you said there's a cat chewing, I thought you meant...
I don't even know what that means.
You've not seen Gremlins?
I've seen Gremlins, of course, but I don't know what he means when he says gremlin. But not going to question that. Part 4, Change Machine. That's the weird title, but I would guess cyborg. I mean...
No, what I think it is, do you remember when you first got the Lord of the Rings, the extended cut, and the film would literally stop and go, change disc. It's saying change machine. Go and get a different machine. This film's that long. Change it.
Your TV cannot handle this movie. Get a new one.
Your TV's not smart enough.
Yeah, but he said that Cyborg's supposed to be the heart of the Justice League in this one. But I always thought, since the Bruce Timm Justice League animated series, that Martian Manhunter always was the heart of the team.
I was going to say the same. I was like, you can't even have a heart if you haven't got him.
Exactly. But I think that's also the symbolic thing. But he's the machine, but maybe he's the most human of them all and everything and all that. They'll probably spin it something like that.
Terminator 2 did that message better for me. Making the human out of the machine. It's never going to beat Terminator 2, is it?
Did everything better, so, you know.
Yeah.
Don't say that too loud. I'm going to get my channel disliked.
But the last two parts are the ones that are interesting and are the things that I actually build my theory on, that we're going to have this type of apocalyptic ending.
Is the last one to be continued?
Yeah, exactly. Right on the nose. The part 5 is called All the King's Horses. And I'm thinking about before Horsemen of the Apocalypse, of course.
I'm just thinking of Humpty Dumpty. I can't help it.
Can you imagine that's how the Justice League comes together?
Humpty Dumpty, secret team member.
But we've all seen the same Justice League trailer before minute 1.
The first one, the Hallelujah one? Or the one after that?
I think we actually get to see some things there also. I mean, we get to see the Stad in that, which is the right or left hand of Darkseid. And obviously we have Steppenwolf, and then we have Granny Goodness also showing up in one of the trailers. So, I mean, that's 3 horsemen there, at least. And if you count Darkseid, maybe you can count him. Then you have the Apocalypse planet itself. So
I do like, though, when that first shot came out with Granny Goodness in it, everybody was hyped, and it's like, no one gives a shit. Like, no, it's Granny fucking Goodness. Like, do you want to know the most popular? I'm going to guess what the most popular Google search was after people watched that trailer. Who is Granny Goodness?
Yeah.
Like, it just proves that people are literally getting excited over anything, because it's like, I know the name, but I can't even remember if I've seen them anywhere because they're that insignificant to me. But everybody's like, Granny, they're doing it. It's the Granny Goodness film. And it's like, shut up. No one gives a shit.
Yeah, probably. Only 2 or 3 Jack Kirby fans that actually watch the Snyder Cut gonna notice. But let's see here. Part 6 is called Something Darker. And I mean, yeah, I think it's gonna end with a cliffhanger that's gonna end up killing Wonder Woman, maybe Aquaman too.
So if this film would take place before Wonder Woman 84,
it doesn't.
It doesn't. No.
It's out of continuity now. They've confirmed, isn't it? It's not canon.
I mean, Wonder Woman 84 takes place in 1984.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, and the Justice League is 2019 something.
I hope that with these title cards, can you imagine if they do them like an old silent film? Like, they have the spin, and that's how it shows up. Like, I'd rate that. I'd give them respect.
the whole movie is silent. It's all gonna be scripts that we're gonna have to read through.
I like that joke though, even though it immediately got burnt out. Where it's like the only reason it's 4 hours is because there's 3 hours of slow motion. Like I laughed the first time I heard it, but then 1,800 other people said it on the same post for a comic website that I was on. I was like, hey, it's funny 10 minutes ago. I'm excited.
Yeah, those are the title cards, and I mean, I can have whatever expectations I want and then get disappointed, but I mean, at least I'm looking forward to it, and I'm gonna take whatever it is. I can enjoy pretty much anything if I get my mind into it.
Yeah.
When it comes to the movies,
it's going to be interesting to see what you two think about it when it is after the fact, because obviously it sounds like you're on completely opposite ends of a scale. That Danoh's not looking forward to it at all.
Well,
and
could you imagine me just being so down on it and then just it's cancelled? We're not going to talk about it.
Well,
you block us off your own channel.
I must say that I'm not hating the fact that it's being made, that we are gonna get this alternative version of the Justice League. It's just that I don't have any faith in how or who it's gonna be, how it's gonna turn out, and who is in charge of it. I don't have any faith in it.
Yeah,
I'm just having no expectation. I got a bit excited watching the trailer, since it kind of looked good, but a trailer can look good any day of the week and still turn out to be, a wet towel on a sauna.
I wonder. I can't think of any off the top of my head, but I agree with you about trailers can often be deceiving, because I'm trying to think of examples of times where I've been so hyped from a trailer and just been disappointed. And there's countless examples. I just can't think of like the main one where it's like that film was awful, but the trailer fucking banged.
Watchmen. That was a great trailer.
Oh yeah. I agree actually, 100%.
I never watched any trailers for Watchmen. I just watched the movie right away.
Trailer was great.
It was before comic books even, and before I discovered that and knew that it was even based on something like that.
I still love that trailer. It had an awesome Smashing Pumpkins song as the music in it. It was great. That was a cool trailer.
The Watchmen movie is his second longest movie, I think, with the director's cut. I think that's 3.5 hours.
Oh, it's got the pirate bit in there, hasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Animated.
So, like adding 30 minutes of just animated, and some scenes with the comic book guy that's talking with his day-to-day customer about the situation in the world.
Do you reckon people skip the comic book bit of that film like they do in the actual comic? Because no one reads that pirate part, do they, anymore? Like, you read it once and you're like, okay, cool, bye.
I've only read Watchmen once, actually.
Did you read the pirate part?
Yes, I did. But it was kind of a chore. I mean, homework.
Yeah.
I always read it. But I get annoyed at myself if I skip things like that. So.
And I got the same feeling when I read Doomsday Clock, but it was easier to take in because it wasn't as long with articles that Jeff Johns tried to make. But he absolutely tried to emulate Alan Moore with that story arc. Of course, you can see that directly if you have read Watchmen before. Yeah. But it was a bit easier to take in than with Alan Moore because he's a bit more mysterious with his. I mean, he works on so many levels with his script and everything. Yeah. Because the movie, of course, only scratches the surface of what the actual graphic novel is. Jacob Silverant, you should read Watchmen more than once. Yes, absolutely. I know. That's why it's still on the shelf. So definitely gonna read that one. The one I reread with Alan Moore, and I'm just talking because nobody's stopping me, is V for Vendetta. I've actually read that several times because I think that's one of his greatest ones.
Still never read it. I really need to read it, but I think I tried maybe once a while ago. It didn't grab me, and I gave up on it pretty quickly. I don't know if it was just the wrong time for me as a reader.
I didn't like it the first time, I should say.
Okay, I need to stick it out and give it a good go.
But that was only because when you're new into the hobby, you get all of these books that are the essentials, and some of them you need to have a baseline to really appreciate. Because the first time I read The Dark Knight Returns, I completely hated that. Because I was seeing so many other things. I mean, I thought Batman was having a gun and everything, and Batman doesn't kill and everything. But I didn't see it with the scope that one should have.
Yeah, I mean, it still kind of annoys me when I see like top 10 Batman books for new readers and stuff, and like The Dark Knight Returns is on there, because I would say that's something you should read once you're a bit more into things.
Absolutely.
So,
Year one, you would appreciate Year one much more if you've read some modern Batman.
Yeah, no, I agree.
It sounds like Off My Shelves is Team Danoh when it comes to Snyder, which just proves that there's just so many different opinions on it. And I hope it leads to really good conversations. I know obviously on like internet comment sections, it's probably not going to happen. Like if you go on any kind of Facebook group, it's always going to be my opinion's right. But I'm just hoping that after the fact, there is still this really good conversation, because I feel like, especially in a year where nothing's really come out with the pandemic and everything, I feel like the Snyder Cut has at least given people an opportunity to discuss something and, have different opinions. But it sounds like he takes quite a big, he's not a big fan of the color saturation of the films. And I know that some people don't like that. Like, they can come across as just too dark. But the bit that I saw of Darkseid from bit that people saw when they were clicking on Tom and Jerry, that seemed to be lit a bit better. So I don't know if maybe something's changed. I'm not sure.
I mean, maybe but they have probably worked on the CG every day and week ever since they started this, and possibly still do.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's uploaded on Tom and Jerry, so it's probably ready. But I mean, since last week or something, I think they've taken all the minutes and hours they can for this.
But they can do as many pretty computer graphics as they want if they sap all of the color out of it. Like, I know what Off My Shelves is saying. It's kind of like there's kind of, I saw a really good video on it actually when it came to Man of Steel. Someone had color corrected it back to what it would look like if it had real colors in it. Like if it was a more vibrantly colored movie, and it looked incredible. It looked better than Man of Steel looked because they put color back in it. So yeah, I'll try and find it after. But it was just a little example of like someone kind of tinkering with things and made it look more like what I imagined a Superman film should be, which is a bit bolder than, like, say, a Batman film or whatever. And I think that is exactly what Off My Shelves is kind of getting at, is that there seems to be this kind of real desaturation when it comes to a lot of Zack Snyder's films, where it's like it's meant to imply like the grim and gritty down to earth street level stuff maybe or whatever, but not everything he does suits it. Especially not when it comes to like a Superman film, which, if you look at the difference between, say, like the Batman animated series and the Superman animated series, like Superman 1 is just completely 10 times bolder, and like Batman is like, there's hardly any colors in it, or it's dead dark and grim and gritty. Like, to me, that's what they should have done. So I completely get that. But
we bonded over that over the Bruce Timm Animated Universe series recently, didn't we, in the comment section of a video, because we talked about the Justice League animated series. And I was like, good, because I was worried that because I hadn't watched it in so long, maybe I was having nostalgia glasses, but I'm rewatching Batman the Animated Series because I got the Blu-ray collection last year as a gift, and it's still fucking holds up. Like, yeah. It's still. We should all rewatch that and then just come back after.
No problem. No problem at all. I think the last Batman movie I actually rewatched was Mask of Phantasm.
Ah, yeah.
Which probably is the best Batman movie.
Probably.
Didn't it bomb as well? Like when it came out, like it didn't do well. I heard.
Yeah. I mean, it was a kids' cartoon, and they did a theatrical release or whatever.
Yeah.
Like back before, like we would all run out and see it now because we're all like 30-year-olds with disposable income. But like, I mean, it wasn't the case back then.
I don't chase much things nowadays, but a poster from that movie, the blue poster with him spreading the mantle and everything, and making out the face of the Phantasm, I would carry that with me wherever I go, wherever I live. If I ever got my hands on that and could frame it up, that is my whale when it comes to posters, I think.
What about the Spider-Man one where you can see the trade centers in his eyes? That's a rare poster.
Yeah, but I don't think it would mean as much to me.
Oh, okay, I get you.
And let's see here. Yeah.
Or like the ones that, like I like hearing about rare posters. I know what you're saying about it has to have a connection to you, but it's like the ones that say like Star Wars Revenge of the Jedi. I've seen them go for some money as well. And I just find it interesting now posters for films that effectively have been changed or even more so don't exist with that title can, like the misprints of comics, sometimes they go for stupid amounts of money. But...
Oh, comics. That's the only thing we haven't talked about.
Oh, yeah, of course.
I said I didn't want to talk about comics.
It's because it says it in a name, so that's good enough for me. But
so what are you guys reading at the moment?
Do you want to go first?
That's a good question. Yeah, okay, I'll go first. I'm currently reading Mark Waid's Fantastic Four omnibus, the Mark Waid, Mike Wieringo omnibus. I'm about maybe 2/3 of the way through it. Really enjoying it. I know you mentioned this last week on your stream with Omar, actually. I think you brought it up as kind of a good entry-level Fantastic Four read, and I completely agree with that. It's just really good fun. And I've not read any of my Fantastic Four omnibuses yet, so this is kind of, I'm starting with this one. I might read the Hickman ones next because I've had them for a while, but I've only read like the first chunk of the first one once back when it came out, and I think I was waiting for the second one to get proper stuck in, but I never did. So yeah, anyone who wants a good starting point with Fantastic Four, though, it's a great little starting point. So I recommend that, and that's what I'm reading. Other than just some other random bits, I read the second issue of Last Ronin the other day.
Oh, that's so good, isn't it, at the minute?
Yeah, no, I'm loving that. It's kind of heartbreaking as well. I mean, it can't not be with what the concept is, but yeah, great story.
I was ready to have my heart broken with that, though. I'm like, this is what I want. Break my heart with Ninja Turtles. Like, I've mentally prepared, so give it to me. And it hasn't disappointed just yet. Like, it's 2 issues in, and it's already phenomenal. Like, I really hope, even though it won't be in line with the IDW collection, give me a slipcased hardcover of that because it's seminal.
They got to do something special with it.
Yeah, because it's like with All Hail Megatron. Like I remember when that was originally coming out, they did a slipcased hardcover, and it was really limited edition, so I never got my hands on it. But if they do it for Last Ronin, there is no way that that's getting away from me. It's so good. That's such a good shout, mate.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the couple of bits I've been reading recently. I read Jupiter's Legacy as well, so that I could watch your video.
Oh, it's such a good book.
Yeah, I did enjoy it.
Are you looking forward to the Netflix show? Sorry.
I wasn't. Now I am. But yeah, like that wasn't really on my radar. Like I knew they were doing it, but I'm a bit more excited now that I've kind of read that or reread it. I'm sure I read it a long time. I'm sure I read it when it came out. I definitely read the first few issues because, like you said in your video, they had like a year wait for the last issue or something.
Yeah.
So I can see myself. I probably bought the first few and went, "I'll wait till I've got them all," and then just forgot about it because it took a year. So yeah, I can't remember what happened, but I know I definitely picked up the first couple of issues of it.
Yeah, such a good series.
Yeah.
So. I hope the Netflix adaptation has the same pace, because that was my issue with the Umbrella Academy. Like the Umbrella Academy book was so quick, like you can read it in one sitting, and then there's like 6 episodes in a series, and it's just so slow in comparison. I know a lot of people enjoy it, fair play to you, but for me, the speed of the book, I just felt like I wasn't getting that in the show, so I couldn't pot with it for too much. I think I did 2 episodes, and I was like, "Nah, I'm good." So I
didn't
hope
check out the show yet. Is it? Yeah, I might give
like
it a go. Yeah, I've heard good things, but no, I'll check it out one day.
Yeah. What about you guys? What are you two reading?
I'm let's see. I recently finished my Spider-Man marathon. So
that's a marathon and off. I'm going to give you a round of applause for that.
It's almost 800 issues. I mean, if you count tie-ins from other Spider-Man titles, I mean, they haven't collected all of the Amazing Spider-Man and omnibus and hardcovers and all that, but it's close.
Yeah,
it's really close. Is it closer than X-Men? Probably.
I think so, because X-Men had. I know obviously Spider-Man's got different titles, but X-Men had tons of them. So yeah, you're probably right. Spider-Man's probably better collected overall.
Yeah, but the last arcs really got to me actually, because of course there's the Nick Spencer Spider-Man, but I don't really care for that run right now, because as I see it, as of right now, Dan Slott has written my final Spider-Man book. The ending with issue number 800 and 801 is perfect, and since I have this rule for myself, or exception, that this is going to be the end of the Spider-Man marathon, I actually felt that things are starting to round up now, and I got nostalgic. They have all these panels that goes back all the way to Amazing Fantasy, and all to the all the key issues that you have read now ever since July when I started this marathon, and I got nostalgic, and I remembered reading all of those issues, and it all got back to me all at once. So I actually got emotional when reading the final Red Goblin story arc.
Yeah.
So that was great. That was my payoff for doing that Spider-Man marathon.
I like that you can go through so many decades of story, and it feels like it was worth it the entire time, like there was a through line. That's really cool, because I don't think you'd find that with many other series. So I'm glad that you got that moment with it.
Yeah, and as I said, I think I got it because, okay, I'm reading this, and this is the end. This is the finale. So with that in mind, I think that kind of pushed it forward. And I hope I get the same feeling whenever I do a Batman marathon, but I want them to collect the last Tom King Batman stuff, so that at least, because probably that's gonna be my temporarily ending until I get another team that I enjoy seeing on that title. But currently I'm reading Deadly Class. I'm halfway through the second oversized volume. I'm really liking it, as I previously read Fear Agent, and I did not like that. As I said in a video of mine, I actually got a pretty good response on that, because I thought everybody would dislike the video because I said that I didn't like Fear Agent, because that is the holy mother of Rick Remender stuff apparently out there. And I'm also reading the Gillen Darth Vader omnibus. Besides that,
you enjoying it?
Yeah, of course. It's a fast read. It's a really fast read.
It's so good.
Yeah.
What are you reading, Danoh?
Thanks for asking.
It was your question. I just stole it and pretended it was mine. So I've been doing on my channel this entire time, just stealing someone else's idea. And
well, I have a
refurbishing
thing
it.
where, I have a thing where I start stuff and then I go on to the next one. So I've started the Captain America omnibus by Ed Brubaker and Steve Epting, the first volume.
Yeah.
And
Which cover did you get? You got the DL as well, didn't you?
I got the first edition, so it's the OG, I guess. I have read about half of it, and then I started reading Helsing instead. The manga deluxe edition, volume 1. Got halfway through that, and then I started reading Shu.
Commitment issues, that is.
And then, that's where I am at the moment. I'm really enjoying all of those books, to be honest. Captain America is starting out to be really interesting and cool, like a cool spy type story. I have no idea where they're gonna go from there.
Oh, it's so good.
So, yeah, I hear you. And then I have gotten a few tips or suggestions about what to go to and compare with Captain America by Ed Brubaker. And that would be Velvet. I got that suggestion by Joakim Comic Center.
Oh, nice. I just got that book in as well.
It's like a title now. You have to say both channel names.
Yeah, you have to, because otherwise it's just the wrong pronunciation or whatever it is. But Helsing has been a real fun manga, actually. I was pleasantly surprised about that. The artwork is pretty classic, in my opinion, which is very limited when it comes to manga. But I really enjoy what I've read so far. Artwork is pleasant, and the story is mostly Vampire of the Week, basically.
Yeah.
But there is still this slightly overhanging story arc that's interesting to explore as well. So, yeah, I'm enjoying every book that I'm reading at the moment, except for Catwoman Volume 4 by Anne Neocenti. I'm not enjoying that one, so that's being a bit of a chore reading.
I'm waiting for volume 3 of Helsing to come out because I think that's the last one, and then I can just do a binge. Like, I'm kind of the opposite of you in the sense that you will read a bit and then give up. I'm like, no, I'll wait until it's finished completely, and then I won't look at another book until I've done that one. So I didn't mean to say give up in like a derogatory way. I didn't mean nothing by it. But
I'm just curious to see what other stories there are out there, and then I kind of want somewhat of a palette cleanser in between certain arcs and issues. So
and if you were reading single issues, you wouldn't just read one, wait a month, and then read the next of that single issue. You'd read a few titles, so it makes sense.
I'm quite used to reading single issues, so that's probably why I kind of tend to break after a 5 or 6 issue run and then go to do something else and then read that for a while and then go back to the arc that I was reading. So I think we got a few comments about what people were reading as well. So maybe we can highlight that.
So Stephen's reading this Stan Lee Spider-Man, and he finished Batman White Knight. So it sounds like he's going on a similar journey to yourself, Joakim.
He read the omnibus. I hope he read the letters as well, because that was very rewarding. I would say you got into the atmosphere a lot better, to the times and everything, and it was like that time's Twitter board almost with comments and everything on what happens and what should happen in the next issue.
I think I saw one as well. I can't remember which book it was for, but he called someone out who said something that was like really racist. Like somebody said something about a character, and I can't remember who the writer was. It might have been Stan Lee. It was like, of course I'm going to include these characters. Like, this is the world now, and it was just so cool that it's like that. You know, they just weren't afraid of saying their mind and like standing up to that kind of bullshit. So you're right; those letters are all good to have in there, and it's almost like a time capsule, isn't it?
Yeah, and actually, I think they only keep them for the books that has the Amazing Spider-Man title on the spine, because when I got to the Venom or the Todd McFarlane omnibus collecting his Amazing Spider-Man run, they did not have the letter column in it. And I kind of missed that actually going forward. So then I totally relied on the story. But yeah, letter section is underrated.
Off My Shelf said, finished the God Loves Man Kills Gallery edition last night on to reread Uncanny X-Force with Uncanny Avengers following. It's a bit of a Rick Remender hype there. Just finished Best of Enemies, a story of the US and Middle East by David B. I can't say I've heard of that last one. I don't know if any of you guys have.
Nope.
SEC's reading Scalped. It's gotten better as I thought it had a slow start. I gave up on that after the start, so I might jump back into it.
What? That is some of the best stuff I've ever read. Although only read it once, but I did read all of the 5 hardcovers within like 4 days.
Yeah.
Because I could not stop.
I might go back.
I have to stop because I only got the first hardcover, and now you can't get the rest of them. So, yeah, that's all I've read.
Probably go the compendium route with those eventually.
And I'll probably not buy it because I'll be afraid of the binding. But, yeah, I think I've got
I
it
did
all
a
on
review a few years
Comixology.
ago about Scalped, Volume 1 at least.
Did you feel the same way? Like, did it have a slow start and then?
It's a slow start, but it's very interesting.
You
get
me a lot of Sons of Anarchy.
I haven't watched it.
Oh,
Me neither.
You should. It's really good.
Yeah.
I think I gave it 4 episodes and then gave up.
Whoa. The way Joakim reacted to me saying that Scalp felt a bit slow is the way I'm reacting to you now. Like, Sons of Anarchy got really good as it went. The last season's a bit shit, but that second season's amazing start to finish. Like, it's 13 episodes, but it's a one-sitting season. It's that good. Like, because the first season, in its defense, you got the sense that they didn't know what they were doing until about episode 8 because they didn't know how many episodes they were going to have because it was written during the writer's strike. So just like, let's make cool biker gang shit, but then sort of the politics between Clay and Jax and all the other team, like, it's more about the politics within the Sons rather than the Sons just doing weird shit. So honestly, I reckon if you gave it till the end of season 1, you might feel a little bit different. But at the same time, if you've given it 4 episodes, you might have felt like you've already invested a lot of time and you don't want to go back to it. But I'd personally
I have it
going back.
on my list at Netflix, so I could probably give it a go again.
I really didn't like the ending of the entire show, but I would still recommend watching it. Like, that's how good some of the journey is towards the end. Like, I didn't care for the ending, but I still think it's worth experiencing some of the middle bit to get what you get. Like,
it's worth it just to see how funny Jax's walk is when he's trying to act tough. Like, he's got this really animated, over-exaggerated walk where he's angry, he goes just walks like that, and it's like, do you know when someone's trying to look tough but they just can't do it right, like me in every video. It's like that, and it's worth watching it just to laugh at his walk. Admittedly, he got shot in one of the early episodes, so that might have something to do with it. But
can we go back up to Perfect Edition's comment from a while back?
What's he saying? Help us out a sec. What's it saying?
Adventure Man?
Yeah.
Okay, 2 secs. Yeah, Adventure Man, the book I will never buy.
Yeah.
Oh, is that what's behind your shoulder?
Yeah, that's for him. He messaged me about before we went on live that he was expecting to see that in the background. So yeah, I obliged.
we'll probably go for about 10 more minutes, and then, you know, we can have a bit of a chat once the stream's ended. SEC said, I thought Gillen's Vader is a bit overhyped. Wow.
What?
That's one of the only books where I genuinely didn't think it was overhyped. Like, I'm the first to say everything's overhyped.
I mean, there is a lot of hype, though. There is genuinely a lot.
He can think what you can have whatever opinion you want, because we all like different stuff. And stuff gets overhyped, definitely.
Yeah, like I thought that a little bit with like Annihilation, because when that went out of print, it became this mythic book, because obviously this was before we knew that Marvel was ever going to reprint anything. But at the same time, people who enjoy it, I wouldn't want to take anything away from them either. So if you thought it was overrated, similar to what Joakim's saying, like, power to you, especially to be able to say it, because sometimes you feel like you can't say certain books are overrated. So mad respect to you for just saying it to begin with.
But has SCC read Darth Vader then to have that opinion?
He must have done if he's...
Yeah.
He has an opinion on it,
Yeah.
It's bold to say it's overhyped without even reading it, to be fair.
Yeah, but I can say that. I actually do that sometimes. But
oh, for real?
I can't take an example right away, but I think I've certainly shown something like overrated, or at least that I think that it's overrated, and therefore I will not buy it. I think that it's overrated. I can't state that it is. But let's see here. Uncanny X-Force Omnibus. I put my money where my mouth is, and I ordered that book. I was hesitant at first that I wouldn't like it, and I read it, and I liked some of it.
Yeah.
I liked Deadpool in it, but I felt that that book needed a bit more of a companion piece. I think you
need to know the states of the X-Men.
Yeah, and I think Age of Apocalypse felt like a really important part of it to go along with that book. Felt like that for me, at least for 2 or 3, or 1 or 2 story arcs within it. And I read it all the way through, but it was not a keeper for me.
Yeah.
But then again, so I do not like Uncanny X-Force as much as other people, and I do like Batman vs Superman, so apparently I can't be trusted.
I'm trying to think of some stuff that is known to be bad that I really like, and it's just like weird chick flicks like Coyote Ugly, which I probably shouldn't have admitted on a live stream, but there we go. But
what books do you like that other people don't like?
Here we go. I'm going to look at my shelves.
I mean, Doomsday Clock is pretty hated, and I like that.
I mean, there was a dude in the chat last week who seemed to really not like it.
And wanted us to hate it.
Yeah. I quite liked Doomsday Clock. Like, I had mixed feelings of it. Like, what it did well, I thought it did really, really well.
Yeah.
And it was a Superman story in disguise, I felt like. It was like a Superman story / just DC meta story in disguise as a Watchmen story. And I think, I love Jeff Johns and Gary Frank as a duo. They're like 2 of the guys I got into earliest in comics. So I always have a bit of a soft spot for them. But even taking that away, like I did like what they attempted to do. And I don't think it was always successful. And it's definitely no Watchmen, but I'll happily reread it. Like I've only read it once, but
yeah, me too.
Yeah, I'll definitely reread it, and I'll buy an Absolute just for the art. So,
sure.
Yeah, that's kind of like me with, like, I want that All-Star Batman and Robin Absolute just for the Jim Lee art. Like, I know the story's trash, but it's Jim Lee art. Like, I did the same thing for Superman for Tomorrow. So what? Like, why am I going to... Superman for Tomorrow kind of opened a door I didn't want to open. It's like, well, if I'm going to buy an Absolute for just Jim Lee art, then I kind of have to get All-Star Batman and Robin. It's like,
I think both of those Absolutes, they're selling purely on the reputation of the artist and the writer.
I agree. But I think the thing that I like that a lot of people don't is the stuff that we've talked about because it got me into comics. Like New 52 can't really do too much wrong for me, even though I know a lot of people don't like some parts of it. And stuff like Ultimate X-Men, Ultimate Fantastic Four, I really like them because it just reminds me of when I was getting into comics for the first time. So they are my kind of stuff that people don't tend to like, but I give a free pass to, because we're both big fans of the New 52. Because remember we talked about it in a comment section, weren't we?
Yeah. Daniel, do you have anything, or do you only have strictly books that everybody likes?
I'm not that knowledgeable about what other people like and don't like.
That's
the best way to be
but-
sometimes.
good. That's good.
It doesn't matter. If you read everything you read, you like what you like. It's good to sometimes disconnect from the popular opinion.
I think that's the best answer I could get, actually.
Well, I'm not sure if I have anything that people hate, or
It's a strong word, but
yeah. I'll have to. I'll pass on that one.
That's your
Can I
homework
ask you
until
another
next time.
question, then?
Yeah.
Can I ask you another question then? Because
Sure.
last time we were chatting, I was asking you to count your comic book collection so I could feel better about my own. You own more
Okay.
than me.
Sorry. Do I?
Do you own more books than me?
Yes.
Oh, yes. Thank you. Finally.
Finally.
Could
Oh,
you
that's
just go
weird.
up a couple of comments to JC?
About
Some
100
good
bullets.
comments
That's the one
there.
I can see.
Is
Well,
it
there's
the one
that
about
one.
spines?
There's the one above that as well, and I
Okay.
feel like I've got a bit of a confession to make with. I mean, that's a good question. I don't know
Yeah,
if you want to
fucking
touch
hope
on
you
that. I would get one.
Day
Yeah.
one, I'm buying it. Like I had I know I only read it recently, but it was so much fun that I'm like, yes, I'm all in. Is it that one that you're asking about?
Yeah, I mean, I might have accidentally ordered the round spine version of Volume 2. I mean, I've got the square one, but I was weak. I was on Forbidden Planet, and I noticed they had the black suit version of the Volume 2, and it will come with a rounded spine. So I just bought it, and I'm going to sell my square spine one. So yeah, you're not just being weird. I'm probably being weirder. So you're not alone. Yeah, I don't like the square spine personally, only because Volume 1 has a round spine. If they both had a square spine, I'd probably it would sit better with me. But
It's
yeah,
okay. It
stuff
doesn't
like that
bother
annoys
me.
me.
It doesn't bother me
Yeah.
at all. If I would have to sit there and stare at it all day, maybe I would be a little bothered by it. But
Maybe that's my problem, is I do sit there and stare at it all day because it's right next to my TV. So it's always in the periphery vision. It's like, yeah.
Okay, you got me there. That would probably be annoying for me then too.
I was bothered until more came out, because I've got Wolverine with a flat spine and Sensational She-Hulk. And I think as soon as there was more than one, I was just like, you know what, fuck it. I can't be bothered to replace 3 books. So it's there, like... And
I'm
as
not
well,
bothered about Wolverine as much as I was about Spider-Man. So I'm not going to just replace all my square spines. So I've got a
will you be
square
bothered,
Wolverine.
though, when Volume 2 comes out?
Only if I read it and it's like, if it means that much to me. Because the problem is I've just read Volume 1 of JMS Spider-Man, and I really loved it. And now I'm kind of like, those are like some books I'll never get rid of.
Yeah.
So
you want the best version for you.
I want the 2 that look nice together and as well, it's got the black suit cover on the one that
the
I've
cool
ordered.
one.
So I'm just like, yeah, I can sell my other one. That's no problem. So, I mean, I say I sell it. It'll sit on one of these 2 to sell piles that I've got building up around me. Yeah. That's another great question.
That was the other one from JC. I don't think I've read all of 100 Bullets. I think I started it when I was getting into comics and I was just buying random trade paperbacks. But I don't think I finished it. But I know you got the omnibus recently.
Yeah, it's a great series. I love it. I had the 5 deluxe hardcovers as well, but I'm going the omnibus route. I'm not going to sell my hardcovers till there's a second omnibus announced, but well, not announced until I've got it in my hands. I'm not going to sell my deluxes, but
I'll buy them off you.
Yeah, cool. Well, you might be waiting a while, depending on DC's collected editions department.
I've got a to read pile, so don't worry.
Well, I'll send them you if you want to read them. Like you can have them to read.
I've still got stuff on. Like the problem is, ever since I started this channel, I kind of have to schedule my reading because I know I read slow, so I have to do like short series, longer series, short because I know that they'd go like 4 months without a review. So it's like I just finished up reading Batman and Robin by Peter J. Tomasi and I'm working on my review for that. I then read Jupiter's Legacy. I'm currently reading Marvels. And then I'm like, do I have enough breathing room to then read a full series? Because I'd like to read like, I don't know, what's a big one? I'd like to read a Thor run after that, I'm thinking. Maybe go back to Walter Simonson because I haven't read it in years, or do all of Dan Jurgens and do a full review on that. But it's just a bit of a shame sometimes. I can't just pick up and read what I want anymore.
I mean, it's a long series. It's like, I think it's actually 100 issues, isn't it? So it does take a bit of doing, but it's definitely worth it, in my opinion. I think it's worth a read for anyone at least once. Whether or not it's a reread for you, I don't know, but I'd say everyone should read it.
Yeah,
but,
Dan Jurgens or...
Sorry, there's 100 Bullets, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think it was exactly 100 issues, but then they did like a second series after, I've heard.
It was just a mini series. It was it's like a short, maybe 6-issue series, focusing on one of the characters. But the whole series, like the actual 100 Bullet series, is just the beginning, middle, and end. You could just stop there. You don't need any other. You don't need to read that at all.
That's pretty decent.
I still haven't actually. I'm waiting for it to get printed in the second omnibus. So. That's when I'll read it if they print it.
I think it might be time to wrap up so that us and the guys can have a bit of a chat. But I've had a really good time again, and I'm hoping you guys have as well. Wait awkwardly for response.
No, always, yeah.
But obviously, I'll just let you guys say where everybody can find you, but we will also be returning for Zack Snyder's director's cut of Justice League, and that will be over at Joakim's channel. We haven't got the date set, but as soon as it is, we will all post it somewhere. So make sure you're following all of us. All the channels are in the description down below. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter. Please don't find out where any of us live. That would just be weird. But yeah, so we will be back fairly shortly. And I'll let you guys just say where everybody can find you if you want to have a moment.
I'll go first this time. So I'm on YouTube just as Comic Bound. Sure that if you type that in, I'll pop up. And I'm on Instagram as comic_bound. I sometimes post there. I sometimes forget. And obviously I'm on these streams every now and again as well. So come
as often as I can have you.
There we go. Anytime.
Who wants to go next?
Is it me? Well, thanks for having me. I have enjoyed this chat tonight, and it's always fun. These 2 times at least. Hopefully, it's gonna be always gonna be fun as well in the future. If anyone is interested, you can find me at Danoh's Comics here on YouTube and on Instagram as well. I'm a bit more active on Instagram than on YouTube, but I'm there.
Yes, and we're Joakim Comic Center on YouTube, also on Instagram, and like Marcus said, at some point we're gonna have a Snyder Cut discussion then on my channel, so make sure to subscribe there so you won't miss out on that discussion to see all the 4 of us again, and then whenever again we'll meet up on his channel, of course, because I want to do this again, Marcus.
It seems like the people want it as well. MDC 5 should just be called the Whammy Boys. The name's already catching on.
It's
Merchandise. Let's get merchandise quick, guys.
I'm already designing the logo in my head right now. So
Yeah.
But
So,
yeah. Sorry, mate.
Sorry, Joakim Comic Center, links down below, and a new video pretty much every week. Trying to do my best. There's a lot of top 10 list videos right now. Pretty much it. Thank you.
But yeah, I just want to say thank you as well to you guys again for joining me on this. Like, this is what the MDC was about. It was about me connecting with the community. And I can genuinely say I've had such a great time both times that I've spoken to all of you, and also when we're not on stream, when we're just talking in passing as well. I think you're a great group of guys. I can't recommend your channels enough. I really hope that we can do this even more often, obviously when time permits. Yeah, so thank you for joining me. Thank you to everybody who's watched. Their links are already in the description down below, so now is the time to click it, check out all the videos, show them some love, give them all the likes, send them gifts. I don't know what. I felt like I needed another thing. I felt like I was building up to a bigger point, so I was like... But yeah, again, I've had a great time. May drank a little bit too much, so allow it. But yeah, until next time, stay safe, stay reading the best books that you can find, and stay mad, all you dogs. Woof, woof. See you at the next video.
Woof, woof.
Bye-bye.